All right, we're live. It's gonna be a weird stream today. I didn't really plan this, but I was sitting at my computer and I was like, well, I'm gonna sit down and write code for a couple hours, so might as well stream it. Why not? Of course, I didn't start the chat bot. We'll get that going. Working on. So today the plan is to work on migrating as much of my stuff off of Travis CI as possible, either through Azure pipelines or through GitHub Actions. So I'm gonna be doing a lot of CI twiddling today. Azure pipelines / GitHub Actions. Cool. And since I streamed yesterday, I don't really have to recap much. Yesterday we worked on a couple of things, but I didn't do anything offline. I guess that's not entirely true. But what we worked on yesterday was undo and redo in Babby. In particular, there was a bug where if you went off the screen and then scrolled, and then undid, it would not scroll and it would crash, but now it scrolls. That got fixed. Hey, what's up, TubeWorm? Someone showed up at least. We have at least one viewer. I didn't expect anyone, but whatever. We're going to be working on CI things today. The other thing that we worked on was GitHub Actions deployment for this repository, color code. I did actually do a little bit of work on this offline. I combined, we originally had two workflows. I just combined the two, because it turns out this, the push command thing that I wrote knows when it shouldn't push, basically. Surprise! Yeah, surprise stream. But yeah, the plan is to take all of these little checkboxes that are currently enabled for Travis CI and disable them and move them to other CI providers. But yeah, the first one, well, I guess we'll just go down the list because that'll make it easier. Actually, we'll skip the first one. The first one's tricky. It's kind of a special snowflake, but I'll go over each of the projects as I do them too, because it's kind of cool to see them. It'd be great if I could spell ancient pythons. Why do we hate Travis? We don't hate Travis. The problem is, I guess the reason that I want to move off of Travis is a couple of reasons. The first is just the pure parallel builders. Let's see, Travis CI free tier. Travis, I believe, has 5. This is the business plan. Where's the free tier? ci.org/plans? Surely that's not a thing. Documentation. Anyway, their parallel builds are 5. I'm learning, so I stop by sometimes to look at people I aspire to be. Ooh, well, thank you, Clementino. I don't know if I'm someone you want to aspire to be, but it's fair. Yeah, Travis has 5 parallel builders, and Azure Pipelines has, I believe, 10 or 12, and GitHub Actions has 20. And so, by that alone, it's worth it to switch. But the other reason I want to switch is Travis CI was bought out by a company that is known for purchasing open source softwares and then kind of throttling them away. They're already showing signs of this with Travis CI and in their update cadence and stuff. But also they fired most of the Travis CI team, which kind of sucks for them, I guess. But no, and you're like, oh, but you're moving to Microsoft Tech. I'm like, at least the Microsoft Tech works and it's better. But also, it really doesn't matter what CI provider I'm using. I really just want like the fastest thing, and so moving to Azure Pipelines speeds up some of that. Also, there's some cool features of Azure Pipelines. Right now, I'm using Azure Pipeline templates. I'm using kind of a templating stuff. So, for instance, like all of this boilerplate that I would have to put in every repository, I can get away with just including that configuration and updating it as it goes. So like this is an old version. I could update that eventually, but this is all I need to do to set up a job which runs pre-commit and then runs talks on Windows and then runs talks on Linux, and that's it. It's pretty straightforward. And there's like configuration points and parameters and stuff, but like this is the most basic setup that you can have. Still no cache in GitHub Actions. Someone was telling me that there is a cache, but it doesn't work or something. GitHub Actions cache. That's clearly in my recently searched thing. So this apparently works, but I haven't tried it yet. I did recently get caching working on Azure Pipelines. And since Azure Pipelines and GitHub Actions are, I believe, the same technology behind the scenes, it should just work. Or it should work with GitHub Actions as well. But I don't know. It was pretty easy to set up in Azure Pipelines once they fixed the whole thing, because it was kind of broken by default. But now this is all I need to set up a cache. The only reason that I do this is I'm very particular about the cache invalidation rules here. But, this is just to grab exactly the Python version and exactly the Ruby version so that this can be invalidated in those cases. Not strictly necessary, but it makes for a little bit better, or a little bit more fine-grained performance. But yeah, so the first project that I'm not going to move is this project called Ancient Pythons, which I don't remember why I did this, but it's kind of a neat project. I took all of the really old sources of Python and then patched them so that they would build properly. So for instance, if we want to build Python 0.9.1, Python 0.9.1, it's gonna take a while because oh, I guess it didn't build that. It didn't take that long. But you can run Python 091. I don't really know what works here. Sys.version. Nope. Unhandled exception. Undefined name version. Stir a thing? It is. Yeah, we don't even have sys.version here. Does -- version work? Can't open file -- version. It does not, but there's some like basic stuff here. A no OS module. What modules were there? Lib. Huh. Anyway, but this is a GitHub repo that has a bunch of older Pythons and allows you to build them from source. And all the tests currently do is just build them and make sure that they work properly. Hey, what's up, Specs? I saw you on, I was watching someone else earlier. Who were you watching? Was it Grim's stream? I don't know, someone's stream, I saw you. Okay, yeah, Grim's stream. I was flipping through a few channels before I decided to stream. But how are you doing? My stream's gonna be super boring today. I guess we'll start with this repo since it has a clear path to upgrade, which is my personal website, which I haven't updated in a really long time, so it's still, pretty sure it still has like copyright year. Anthony Satilli, pretty sure it still says copyright 2012. Yeah, this is the last time I updated it. Like 7 years. Spec says, I'm finally starting to understand larger code bases, and I've been building a Discord bot. Oh, cool. Yeah, I find, so my one tip for large code bases, for instance, the PyTest code base, the thing that I think helps me the most to navigating them is the git grep command. And like, well, that was weird. Why did it take so long to show up? Oh, weird. I think git grep is probably one of the tools that I wish I would have known about earlier with navigating large code bases, mostly in that it lets you find stuff really fast. So like, what's something I could search for in PyTest? We can find where the unit test case stuff happens in Python files. in source. Yeah, so like what? Why does it do this weird thing with sys.modules? Why does Python go so far out of its way to avoid importing? Well, here's another useful command. Git log -G, which will show you times that this string has changed. So I'm looking for sys.modules bracket single quote unit test. Put some imports back to function level and streamline. Let me write this down. Git log -G and git crep. Yeah. This is very, very weird. It's just a shortcut. It's a performance optimization, it looks like. I wonder if it makes any difference. Anyway, I'm not going to dwell on that code. It's not what we're working on today. Okay, what does this do today? It does exactly the same thing as the other build that I was just working on. Hey, what's up, Angry? Welcome to the stream. I'm having a good night-ish. It's like 7:40. No, -G, that was just a regex. So this is a regex. These are any character. It was because I was too lazy to do this. And if we're being completely correct, I should do that too. Because dot in regex is match any character, and so I was shortcutting needing to pick a quote character and escape this and escape this. So I was just being lazy. But this is what I would have actually used with git log -G. But yeah, I was just cheesing it a little bit. What do I use to code Python? Oh, well, you're in for a treat here. I use the worst text editor ever called Nano. But fun fact, I'm actually working on my own text editor. It's currently called Babby. It doesn't really do much, but you can navigate around, you can edit, you can undo and redo, which is like the brand new feature that I worked on the last week. Hey, what's up, Hackzors? Thank you for the follow. Cool name. I approve. But yeah, eventually I'll be using Babby as my text editor, but not yet. And Angry, thank you as well for the follow. How is it better than Vim? It's not. Neither editor are better than Vim. And don't worry about the bot. The bot's just a troll. Do you take recommendations on, like, what to code? I usually have enough projects to work on myself. I spend a lot... I spend too much time on GitHub. I do have, like, a working to-do list that's eventually going to... See, my GitHub profile doesn't even load most of the time. Surprise! Unicorn! Reload. I do have kind of like an open source to-do list, although I haven't updated it in a while. I'm never gonna work on that. I'm working on my own text editor now. What was this issue? Multiple, oh yeah, I still want to work on that. Still want to work on this. I don't think I'm ever gonna work on this. Anyway, that's super out of date. I'm sorry, what's the point in a personal text editor if there's a good old one on hobby? Oh, my original idea with building my own text editor was kind of like 3 main purposes. One, I wanted to learn the Python or the curses module. Curses Python 3. Curses is a terminal GUI or TUI library. Not a very good one. It's just kind of like the most basic terminal UI library. So I wanted to learn that. I think I can say that I've learned curses now. Most of the learning with curses was in the first, like, I don't know, week or 2 of working on my text editor, and now it's mostly just like ironing out the edge cases and working on like some of the wacky bits and also adding features and stuff. One of the other reasons that I wanted to make my own text editor was you guys in chat always give me shit for using Nano, and so I would stop receiving flack for that. Although you guys would probably be like, "Oh, you're using Babby? What a terrible text editor." But so that's not a real reason. It's kind of a meme reason. And the last reason is Nano removed my favorite feature from the latest versions. So how do I demo this? Oh, so for instance, like if I have this gitignore that's not sorted, I can run a code formatter on it and it will sort it for me. So I used a key combination Control-T, and that ran a code formatter, but they removed code formatters in the latest version. I'm running a really old version. And I kind of really like that feature, so I kind of wanted my text editor. So I'm gonna make sure that that works well in Babby. Also, most of my like personal projects that I work on, like I created this linter code formatter framework called Precommit, which just goes to show that like my passion projects are like linters and code formatters, and if that doesn't work in my editor, then crumble crumble. Actually, hey, what's up, BitMonkey? Actually, it is far superior to Vim, being Nano is a focus-based editor. Yeah, I don't think it's better than Vim, but it certainly does work. But yeah, I spend a lot of time working on open source, and so I have a lot of projects that I contribute to. Some of the ones you've probably heard of if you work in Python are PyTest. I'm a maintainer of Flake 8. I work on PyFlakes. I work on Tox. Precommit is the one that I've created. I work on, or I've maintained the SAS bindings, or the libsas bindings for Python, and a bunch of other stuff. Dead snakes, blah, blah, blah. A bunch of things. But yeah, I usually don't have a shortage of projects to work on. Can you code while drunk? Well, we'll see. I don't think I'll get drunk today. Last stream I had a drink and it was messy somehow. I got frustrated with code and stopped working in the middle of it. But hopefully today will go a little bit better. You got cursed enough. I mean, people, you can tell. You can tell people are like, why are you using Nano? I don't say anything about your decisions. Thank you, Specs. You have to be pretty hardcore to use Nano as your main editor. Yeah, that's true, Camilo. Or a noob. But anyway, that's that. Oh, another like kind of memey thing with my text editor, and this is just, you know, for the lull of it. You can quit it like Vim. just to be funny about it. I'm too sassy. Yeah. I assume you have a degree in computer science. Yes, I graduated from the University of Michigan in 2013, and with a degree in CS and a minor in biochemistry. I actually graduated with more biochem credits than computer science credits, and didn't really get a degree out of it, but whatever, it's fine. I also switched and started my CS major my 3rd year, so I finished it in 2 years, which I would not recommend, because holy crap. It is so much work. High stress. Do you work on anything other than Python? Yeah, I sometimes work on, let's see, I have like one Android app that I've been sometimes working on stream, but not in a while. Not since January. So sometimes I do Kotlin, Java. I work on C occasionally, some C++. Haven't really done that in a while, but Yeah, I do work on some other languages. I worked on some Go a while back. Did a JavaScript stream. I know some Ruby, but I don't think I would. I don't think I know enough or would work on any projects related to it. But yeah, I do a lot of other languages. But right now, like, if you look at my profile, it's Python, 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 Python. Which, yeah, that's the way things go. Bitmonkey, Anthony, tell me one project that starters can make that include SDLC. What is SDLC? SDLC. Software development lifecycle. And most things that can help. I don't know, usually when I tell people to work on a new project, I usually suggest that they find something that they want personally. So like, you know, like the first programming project that I worked on was a quadratic formula solver because I was so done typing that formula in after the first time and like making simple typos in my calculator. I was just like, nope, I'm gonna write a program. I'm gonna figure out how to write a program. So I taught myself programming to write a program so that I wouldn't have to do that stupid formula. But like the project, I was motivated to work on it, motivated to do research and learning about how to do that because I was getting something out of it. I was like personally benefiting from that. Alias Vim equals Babby. Yeah, I agree, Bobby. That's what I should do. Although occasionally I do use Vim. In fact, that sorting that I showed you earlier for the gitignore file is actually implemented using Vim. But you know, gotta meme where you can. Oh man, C#, I miss C#. Yeah, Clementino, I miss C#. I used to write a lot of C#, but I haven't had a chance to work in it in quite a long time. What's better for a newbie who knows JavaScript, C# or Python? It depends on what you're working on. Like if you're working on a Windows app, like C# is probably your best bet. But I don't know, if you're working on web development, you probably want JavaScript, and like at least for the front end. You can always pick whatever language you want for the back end. I don't want to know Ruby. Was it a terminal-based program or a GUI type program? Oh, so the first implementation of my quadratic solver was on a calculator. In fact, I still have the calculator, I think. Oh, it's so dusty. Of course, I don't dust inside my drawers, so... Nope, not that one. This one. It's a good old TI-83. Does it still work? Probably not. Batteries are dead. I had to like tape closed the battery case. The crazy thing is these calculators are like they're tech from like the 70s or like the 80s, and they still cost several $100s. It's like absurd the monopoly that's there. But I originally wrote it in TI Basic, and then not everyone in the class had TI-83s, so I ported it to Visual Basic 5 and distributed it as a Microsoft Word document on a floppy disk. So that was my very first software distribution, was a Microsoft Word document. Okay. But yeah, so we want to move this deployment, which is currently Travis-based and uses a secret token. I want to move this to GitHub Actions and Azure Pipelines. I actually just did the same thing for this little project, Color Code, which is an art project that I did with my ex-girlfriend in, what year is this? 2016? 2017? I don't know. Oh, a long while back, but art project. And different art project, but same code. Basically, it interprets the bytes of some file and generates art from it. But last stream, I automated the deployment and then I cleaned it up a little bit. So it's currently doing CI in two ways. One is this GitHub action, which I'm gonna copy and paste directly because it's exactly the same setup, and I did that intentionally, like made sure that these are the same approach. And then in CI, it tests that the pre-commit hooks pass. So we're gonna set up Azure pipelines and GitHub actions for this, and delete the Travis stuff. Let's set up Azure pipelines first because it's more work. The GitHub action stuff is super easy. Let's see, new build pipeline. So this is the one part about Azure pipelines that I don't like, and that it's a ton of clicks to get this set up. It's too quiet. Or too quiet, too small. Let's see. That's too cool and depressing for plebs like us. This actually, the code for this is dead simple. The way this works is these 36 lines of code. That's all that it does to generate this art. And most of it is just like some CSS that styles some stuff. But all it's really doing is it opens the file that it's trying to parse and reads 3 bytes from the file, turns that into a hex code, and then sets that as the background color. That's all it does. The code's not that complicated. But it produces kind of a cool result. But yeah, that's color code. I didn't do the homepage. I did the art part. The other person that worked on this did the. Oh, you're talking about the good old times. Yeah, it's true. There are fruit flies in my house. I don't know why. Annoying. What file was used to generate the homepage? That is a good question. I don't know. I can check though. Hey, what's up, Dejvid1998? Thank you for the follow. Hope you're doing well. Let's see. What did I generate the homepage with? Probably random. The homepage is a little more complicated. Yeah, it just uses random. Wait, no. Self.rect. Where's the rect part? Oh yeah, just random. So I seed random with 0, and then I guess I did this part because I think Teresa did the CSS part. I don't remember. It was a long time ago. I guess I could look at the blame. Well, blame's to her. Okay, maybe I didn't do the index page. Or maybe we paired on this. I don't remember. It was a long time ago. Wait, are you running Python code in the browser? How is that Python code? Oh, this is a templating language called... It was originally called Cheetah, but this is the fork of it called Yelp Cheetah, which I created and like spent a lot of work on it. Basically, I took Cheetah and then removed all the crap that sucked, and then fixed a bunch of stuff, ported it to Python 3, added some test coverage, added some optimizing parts to it, and it's technically the fastest templating language that exists in Python. That's interpreted. I guess there's some that compile directly to C, but they're kind of cheating, I guess. But yeah, it's a templating language. It looks like Python because it compiles to Python and it basically runs as if it's Python. Which is kind of the point. Like that's why like this looks just like Python. But yeah, where were we? Okay, so we gotta go through this super clicky thing. AnthonySatilli.com. Oh, is that how this works? Yeah. Build on Real Master. Oh, right. So there's this stupid thing with GitHub hosted recommit.github.io. With GitHub hosted domains, your default branch is the one that renders on the website instead of the GHPages branch. So you have to do this like weird dance where you have a separate branch that you develop code on, and then you generate code onto the master branch. We'll eventually get to this repo too. But that's why this is trying to go to the real master. I'm gonna make this slightly smaller. There we go. And then I gotta click YAML, and then I gotta click apply, and then I gotta rename this. And set the path here. And then I have to change it so people's pull requests build. Then I think that's enough to save it. And then I have to copy this, where is it? This build number here. So we'll need that in a bit. And I'm just gonna copy the pipeline setup from color code to this, which is just gonna run pre-commit. And what was the build number? 40? Hey, what's up, Scree? The project that I'm working on moving some stuff to CI and kind of just talking about the projects that I'm working on at the same time. Bitmonkey says, what duck typing? I'm kind of get confused on how to check and know what type an object is. There's kind of two ways to do checking of types in Python. You can either use isInstance, or you can check for particular attributes. So like, you would use like hasAttr or getAttr. Or you can use like, try return foo.bar and then accept attribute error. This would be another way. This duck did not quack. I guess you could say quack. And you would write code like that. That's another way to do duck typing in Python. Let's see. We're gonna call this CI. We don't have anything in the README. Awesome. Hey, what's up? Oh, I checked out the wrong branch. That's why. Real master. That work now? Cool. Okay. How long have you been working with Python? I started working in Python in 2012-ish. Before that, I was C++, C#, Visual Basic, Java, JavaScript, C, SQL if you count that, HTML, a bunch of other stuff. Bobby asks, are type-ins used mostly by external tools, or does the interpreter do anything with them? The interpreter doesn't do anything with them. I guess it evaluates them kind of, but it doesn't check them or really do much of anything with them. I use them with a tool called MyPy. MyPy, lang.org. So this is MyPy. It's a type checker. It validates these hints. But otherwise, they're just glorified comments, essentially. Cool. So we're going to be putting these status badges into the README. We're replacing master with real master because it's special snowflakey, and 39 with 40, and color code with anthonysatilli.com, and then we'll be able to copy in the GitHub workflow that we had for the other one. And this GitHub workflow is pretty straightforward. We need to change this to that branch. Hey, what's up, Ciro? Oh, I don't know how to say your name. I'm so sorry. But thank you for the follow. And Juan Rakodal as well. Thank you for the follow. You're having a hard time with Python. I feel like Python's pretty easy, but maybe that's just me. There's definitely like a lot to grasp if it's your first language, because it's not necessarily the most typical language, but I don't know, it works pretty well. I'm getting ready to learn MySQL. MySQL's a good one. Once you learn one SQL variant, they're pretty much all the same, unless you learn Oracle, which like Oracle's kind of shitty. I really don't like their SQL engine. It's missing a lot of like basic features that everyone else has, like auto increment keys and maybe it's just auto increment keys. I don't know. But SQLite is nice. That's the one I use probably the most. Scree says, "Dang, impressive! How can you understand all those different languages? And what do you do career-wise?" I don't know. I think with programming, like once you learn one programming language, picking up other ones, as long as they're similar, is pretty straightforward. Like, granted, like my first couple of languages were not the greatest. Like Visual Basic and PHP was kind of a pretty crappy start for me. But I learned good fundamentals with like C# and JavaScript, and like applying those sorts of mentalities to a bunch of other programming languages kind of worked out pretty well. But yeah. My humble beginnings in Visual Basic 5 and PHP. Hey, what's up, Scree? Thank you for the follow. Scree! Oh, and what do I do career-wise? I currently work as an infrastructure developer at Lyft. Lyft is a ride-sharing company similar to Uber if you're not from the United States. But Lyft is currently only in the US and select cities in Canada. But maybe one day we'll expand internationally, but not yet. But yeah, I work on the developer experience team where we build tools and software that make developers productive, or at least that's what we say. It's pretty hard to make developers productive, so we try our best. But yeah, that's me in a nutshell. I used to work, I've been there 2 years. I started on a team called provisioning, and then that team grew and split, and I was largely doing the same thing on provisioning. I used to work at Yelp, where I started as a JavaScript front-end developer, and I switched to full stack because I realized that like being a front-end developer, you're kind of at the whims of back-end developers, and so I was like, well, I can write Python, let's do this. And so I did full stack development, and then I switched to a web frameworks team, which eventually ended up being kind of a developer experience team. But the reason that I created that team was another engineer and I realized that Yelp's development approach was not really scaling all that well. And so we wanted to build a team to make sure that developers can continue to be productive. And the first step of that was like making development in the monolithic Yelp main. It's the like 3 or 4 million line Python code base. Make sure that continues to trudge forward, but also work on microservices and like packaging and all sorts of other stuff like. Let's see. PHP! Yeah, Hacksource. I started in PHP. It was PHP 3. It was really, really old PHP. I use MariaDB when storage isn't data premium, but if I'm doing stuff that can run on embedded systems, I'd use SQLite. Makes sense, yeah. I'm more of like a MySQL and SQLite kind of person. Although I've used Postgres, it's fine. But I live in the San Jose area. I actually live in San Mateo. So I'm not going to show you exactly where I live. That's not exactly where I live. Google Maps thinks I live in Redwood City for whatever reason. But I live near this downtown Caltrain station. And the Lyft office is right... where is it? It's right here. In San Francisco. And so I commute there every day. Yeah, Lyft has a bunch of like driver hub offices, so those will end up all over the place. Does that mean you do DevOps? Yes. It does mean that I do DevOps, unfortunately. Bobby asks, have you ever tried languages such as Haskell or Rust? I've written a little bit of Rust. I liked what I saw when I tried it, although I didn't get much further than Hello World. It was during Advent of Code, so I was just like, I'm gonna do a little bit of hackety hack, and like it was nice. I didn't get yelled at by the borrow checker, but I also didn't really do all that much complicated stuff. Let's see. ThinkPad or MacBook Pro 15 for a college student? That's a good question, mate Zol. I'm probably a little bit biased in that I don't really like Apple products, so I would never recommend them. And I don't know, I think you can get by on any old laptop. Like, I don't think it's important to choose one or the other. So I would really look at like specifications and budget and like what you're trying to get out of a laptop. Then again, like I run Windows, so maybe you're asking the wrong person. But I also like Linux, and so I spend a lot of time working in Ubuntu and other Linux environments. Yeah, really, like, to me it would come down to like price points and other stuff. And also, if you get a MacBook, you're gonna end up with a touch bar and you're gonna hate it. The DHCP server that your ISP uses gives your public IP address is located in the neighboring city, so that's why Google Maps. Yeah, this is one of my old PHP projects. But yeah, this is where the public IP is. And let's see, IP2 location, and it probably puts me in Redwood City. Try demo. Sure. Yeah, it puts me in Palo Alto, so like that's where Wave's pop point is. Kind of makes sense. Specs said something about, does that mean, or wait, where did you say that? Do you dislike DevOps? I don't like the term DevOps. I think DevOps is a fine idea, like having people be partially operations minded and like knowing how to set up stuff is kind of nice. I think like the phrase doing DevOps is a little bit like overblown or like talked about too much, maybe. I don't know. Linux is the language of the gods, but it does not run Microsoft Office. Yeah, it's true. Then again, I don't even have Office installed on Windows. I think I've just been using Google's suite for the most time. Hey, what's up, CodeMonkeyJS? Haven't seen you in a while. Welcome back to the stream. Scree says, what type of projects would you recommend for beginner intermediate Python devs? I'm really enjoying the learning process. I'm curious what projects you would think would teach the best. Makes me fail a lot. For like medium projects, I think one good one that I always point people at is like making a Discord or chatbot. Like you'll learn all sorts of like weird protocol stuff and like dealing with third-party libraries and APIs and all sorts of other stuff. And you'll end up learning a lot of other things. But that's one way to get like an intermediate project. All the cool kids in Silicon Valley use MacBooks. I technically have a MacBook for work, but I can show you my laptop. And it looks like a MacBook, but it's not a MacBook. This is my, I don't know if you can see that, Samsung laptop. But it's nice and light. It runs Windows. It's it has a 0.5 terabyte SSD, i7 processor, and I think 16 gigs of RAM. And it was like, you know, $1,100, and I love it. It's exactly what I needed out of a laptop. But I bought that when I quit Yelp, and I was like, wait, I don't like my other personal laptop is from like 2012, and that was not quite cutting it anymore. Bobby asked, do you use GitHub at Lyft? Yes, we use GitHub a lot. We have like 2,000 repositories. It's kind of crazy. Hey, what's up, UBN T-Bot? Hope your day's going well. Windows is garbage. It's fine. It gets done what I need to do. I love Guido Van Russen. Yes, I am streaming. I was like, I'm gonna work on some CI stuff, but I stopped working on it. Let me commit this. Let's see. Add Azure pipelines plus GitHub Actions. Oh. And we don't want Travis CI to run on this. Skip Travis. Also, if I remember right, I have to run pre-commit auto update. Because these are too old. Web scraper scripts. Yeah, that's another way to learn some other Python stuff as well. One of my recent Python learning projects was actually the bot that sits in this in Twitch chat right now is a Python project that I wrote from scratch. I wanted to learn async IO, and so this gave me an excuse to learn a protocol and like play with some type annotation stuff, and yeah, kind of learn a lot of things there. Windows isn't garbage at all. See, I agree. Windows is fine. It's all right. Dissident2, please hide your IP. No, it's fine. I'm not gonna get hacked. I have a firewall. It's also like, no, not exactly private information. Whenever you make a request to any website, it advertises your IP address, and so if anyone was gonna hack you, they were already gonna hack you. Did I make that site? Yes, I made this website with a friend, although I wrote most of the code. It's currently a little bit broken. This is his parents' website. They do like sales and stuff. Although it's currently broken right now. So like it thinks that my Windows machine is running NT4, and this is because I had a faulty regex back when I wrote this in probably like 2008. Probably earlier than that. Probably like 2002, 2003. I don't know, a long time ago. But I haven't fixed that regex, so it's still broken. But he owns the domain, so I don't know the domain. But I wrote almost all the code. I don't recommend doing this kind of thing with Python. This is my joke PHP obfuscator. Oh, it's like JS fuck, the JavaScripter thing, which does exactly the same thing. Man, one thing that I don't understand about PHP is like for the longest time they were like grumpy about using short tags, but now the new style is you open your PHP tag and then you never close it, and I just don't understand that. That something about that bothers me, but I don't know. I haven't worked on PHP in a long time. Mate Zool says, would you like to work on the Lyft level 5 team? Me personally, not really. They do a lot of like data science-y embedded system stuff that just never really interested me that much. My kind of passion is building tools that make developers happy. And so there's not as much space for like developer tool, or at least I know nothing about developer tooling for data science people, and so I would not be good at it. I don't think. So no, it's not for me. If I wanted to work on level 5, I could transfer to that organization, but I'm not. Why didn't you announce you're going to stream? It's 5 a.m. in Spain. I did announce on Discord like 10 minutes before. Which, if you guys want to join my Discord, there's a Discord. We mostly talk about programming stuff. I announce streams, and occasionally there's memes, and I don't know, it's just kind of fun. But I didn't really. I was just like, I'm gonna sit down and write some code for a while. Might as well start a stream and go from there. Oh. I forgot to change this. This should be real master. But yeah, I didn't really expect to stream today, but then I was like, whatever. I'm at a computer. I'm gonna sit here for a couple hours. Might as well talk to chat and do whatever. You would normally get DDoSed. I'm not sure how someone would DDoS me or why they would care. But if they did, then fine. They got me. Whatever. Scree says, what's your opinion on college versus bootcamp versus self-taught? Man, this is a really hard question because I have like 2/3 of those experiences, and uh, I think like what you get out of any of them is really based on your motivation and like what you're trying to learn from them. Um, for my background is almost entirely self-taught, so I spent a lot of time uh, mostly because like my middle school and high school did not have any programming classes. The closest they had to a computer class was Introduction to Microsoft Works, which Microsoft Works is like the knockoff Word suite. So like Works Writer and Works Sheets and Works Presentations, and it's just like a crappy Microsoft Office because they couldn't really afford it. I think was the thing. Let's make sure these worked. Cool, that one works. This ran the build, and this should have skipped it. Oh, gotta fix that. What was I talking about? Oh, boot camp, college. So most of my like basics for programming were all from self-taught. All the like performance stuff that I learned, all of the like web development, uh, even like a lot of tooling stuff. It was almost entirely self-taught. I think college showed me uh, a lot of like theoretical parts of computer science that I wouldn't have learned elsewhere, and in a lot of ways, like the theoretical parts are less applicable to what I do on a day to day. Like I don't think it really matters that I know how to derive a proof for like NP completeness. Like I think that really doesn't matter at all to what I work on. And like most programming, I think that most people do is like linear algorithms or calling functions that already exist or procedural programming, and like you don't really spend much time really building new algorithms and thinking about algorithmic efficiency all that much. So I think like a lot of that is not so important. Uh, I don't know. And boot camps, assuming you go to a boot camp that's working on practical things, I think they're a great way to learn. A bunch of people that I work with and like have worked with in the past are exceptional developers, and they came out of boot camps, and so like you can make it happen in kind of any of those ways. I think I don't want to like undersell college. Like I think college was really great for networking with a bunch of people, because it's one of those situations where like it's pretty hard to meet a lot of like-minded people working on the same things and like pursuing the same goals in like self-taught. Now, granted, in boot camps you're going to meet a bunch of people as well, but they're not as likely to be like same aged or all the other stuff. I don't know. That's my thoughts. Hopefully that gives you something to go on. Hey, what's up, JL? I agree. My plan is to start self-taught, make some stuff, then move to a boot camp to refine everything, and then meet like-minded people. Yeah, I think that's a good strategy. Bitmonkey asks, how did you learn testing in Python? Most of my learnings of testing was just from experience, like working in a code base that had tests. The first testing framework that I worked with was this library called Testify, which it's fine. It's not the worst testing library, but it was homegrown at Yelp as kind of like a unit test replacement. It has nice things like setup teardown, which like PyTest now has with yield fixtures and stuff. But most of it was just like writing tests and then having other people code review it. There was some other stuff where like I did independent research on like how you would want to like structure tests and like what things you should be testing for, and like test-driven development philosophy and those other sorts of things, which I didn't really get from like mentorship or anything else. But that was kind of how I learned testing. And then Yelp switched from Testify to PyTest in services and libraries, and so I learned a lot about that. And then eventually I started contributing to PyTest, and like working on contributions and stuff, and like building new features and bug fixes and stuff. And so I spent a bunch of time working on PyTest, and then and now I'm actually one of the maintainers. So I spend some amount of time checking on that as well. DDoSing a home IP isn't all that good when a person can change the MAC address of their router. Also, I have like gigabit Ethernet, so if you're gonna DDoS me, you're gonna need a lot to make it problematic, I guess. And honestly, streaming is almost a DDoS in itself. Like, I'm sending a lot of bits over the network already. What's a good book you read recently? I don't read books all that often. Not gonna lie. What is a good book that I read recently? What is the last book I read? I think the last book that I read was my dad's poetry books. My dad wrote a bunch of poetry in like high school and college and stuff, and also some more recent than that, but has put them together into a series of a couple of different books. And they're centered around, actually, the first two are poetry. This one is not poetry. I guess this one has some poetry. I don't know. But the books are themed in a way around my autistic sister, and like describing her struggle and like all the stuff that we kind of dealt with. And this one is a bunch of love poems, and it's kind of framed around like Leah will never be able to experience love poems, but here's some that she might have received or something like that. And then this one is based around, we used to have this, my dad used to send quotes from a mailing list to this particular email account, and we would have quotes day, which would be I think once or twice a week, where we would sit down and talk about inspirational quotes, essentially. And that's what this book is kind of about, and like includes a bunch of those words of wisdom in there. Kind of a funny thing that he didn't tell us until, or at least I didn't learn about until I read the book, was a lot of the quotes that ended up in that email list were ones that he had made up. And so they were just like, he had some like fake pseudonym that he used, and man, who is this guy that shows up all the time? I remember asking that. We're like, Dad, who is this guy? And like, we were kids, so we didn't really, I mean, modern day we would just fucking Google it and see who that was, but back then there was not really that opportunity. But it ended up just being my dad with a pseudonym. It's kind of funny. But he's actually coming out with another book pretty soon. It's in the first phases of editing right now. And this next one is going to be a cookbook, which has a bunch of his recipes. My dad makes a bunch of really great meals and stuff, and cookies and bread and like all sorts of good stuff. I'm not nearly as good of a cook or baker as he is, but I also like to bake. But he'll eventually have another book there. But I think those are the last books that I read. That was a couple months ago, I think. Let's see. I just don't want to spend a fortune on college classes with information I will never use in a job. Yeah, I think that's fair. Can I also start with this or unit test module, or what would you recommend? I would recommend starting with PyTest. Don't bother learning the unit test module. It's going to be painful. PyTest will make everything easier for you. Let's see. CodeMonkey.js. I've got a question for you. I've heard that if you want to get better at programming, it's recommended to read source code of well-known libraries or frameworks. Is it something you did? What is your opinion on this subject? Let's see. I think most of the time when I read source code, it's mostly in that I found something that I don't understand how it works, or it's broken. I don't think I've ever like sat down and read through a library's code just for the sake of reading it. So I don't know. I don't think directly seeking out libraries and reading their code is a good thing necessarily. Also, like some of the more popular libraries will be not necessarily good code. which is just the way things go. But yeah, I do spend a lot of time reading code as well as writing code. Although most of it, like I said, is fixing problems or figuring out how something works. Yeah, sorry, I don't have song requests because I upload these to YouTube afterwards, and so I don't really want to get copyright strikes. And so I currently have a playlist that that it cycles through. Here's where the playlist is right now. So sorry about that, surface. Okay, but I think this succeeded now, so I should be able to turn off the first one. We've done one, guys. It's been 1 hour. We got one down. Although we still have to make sure that the deployment succeeds, because that only runs on merge. So let's see. Where's the other badge? Did I mess up the markdown? I could have sworn I put both badges there. Or is it just slow to load? Oh, it's loading. Okay, I see. Alright, we'll see if this CI succeeds. I'm gonna actually probably start working on the next one while that's going. Error occurred. My internet is not working. Aw, did somebody actually denial of service me? That would be so sad. I'm not dropping frames though. Streamlabs just refreshed. OBS is still happy. Streamlabs is broken. Yeah, if it's a denial of service, that'd be pretty funny. So let me see. Can I look at block events on my router? Google's still loading. So presumably it's just these websites are problematic. No, Google, I don't want to search for 192.168.0.1. I want to actually open it. Who's this Sunday streaming boy? It's me, Mindful Fox. Me with the broken internet. I learned if I show my router screen on stream, it shows my Wi-Fi password, which I still need to update. So, you come by my house, you can find my Wi-Fi password. Or you can find my Wi-Fi. No, don't save my password. Advanced. Where's the security? Where's the logs? Logs, there we go. It's weird because I'm not dropping frames, but my internet is severely degraded right now. Huh. Logs don't seem to be that bad. Like, usually I expect to see a bunch of errors. YouTube's still working. I don't know. Reinstall Windows, restart. Yeah, your IP address, now your Wi-Fi password. It could also be that GitHub is just struggling. This worked though. Wonder why 3 lines changed. This is silly though. Why is everything broken? I don't really want to restart. Oh, someone is, well, there is one log entry. I guess I can show this. This is 2032. Yeah, it's 4 minutes ago. So someone is running a check, at least a port scan. DHCP. I don't know what 1.6 is. Oh, it's probably. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Does GitHub load in this tab? Yeah. Yeah, stream is working fine, so I'm assuming it's not a DDoS. Me too. I think it's someone's CDN is broken. Let's see, network. What request is lagging? Can you guys load travesci.org? Be one way to figure it out. I don't know what changed here. I could clone it. Yeah, Git is still working. Oh, it added that to the README. Let's see, works for you guys. I wonder if it works in Firefox. What if I just have to restart Chrome? It's really wild. What is the command? ipconfig release. Oh, now we're definitely dropping frames. That was not the right command. I ran the wrong command. Are we back now? Shit. So this is not the command that I wanted. Why is it not letting me stop the stream? OBS is just broken. Why won't it let me restart? I didn't get owned, I'm just dumb. Alright, are we back now? No? Twitch thinks I'm back. We're back? Okay. OBS is still confused, but Twitch says I'm back. Does this work now? Okay, this works now. Okay. That was weird. Not gonna think too much about it. What was the fix? I don't know if it was a fix, but I ran this command. This is what actually broke the stream. Because I didn't think before I ran it. I just typed it and I was like, oh, this is a command I've used before to fix things. This releases the DHCP lease, and says, hey router, give me a new IP address, which, if I was thinking, I would have remembered that severs all the connections, and so that's why the stream stopped. But yeah, I don't know. Press enter. It should do nothing, because I ran this in Windows, and the equivalent command I think is ifconfig in Linux, but it won't matter because this isn't my host. This is just a VM. Big brain time, yeah. Break my stream to fix my stream. Yeah, that command is a Windows command. But as soon as I ran it, I was like, oh wait, that's not what I wanted to do. But it was too late. I had already broken it at that point. PHP. I didn't know this repo still had PHP in it. Seems I'm still having some problems. Are you a bridge network or NAT? For my VM? I don't know. I do not know. Let's see. Network. NAT, I guess. No other adapters. Well, GitHub still doesn't really want to load. This is what GitHub looks like with no CSS, which actually is not so bad. It could be way worse. But we'll move on to the next repo, which is this Cheetah-Lint repo. Hey, what's that? R4J4S or Rajas? If you're elite, I guess. Needs a slash. My internet is having struggles though. I'm gonna laugh a lot if it's actually somebody denial servicing me. After I was like, I'm not afraid, and then they were like, haha, I'll show you. But whatever, it seems like the stream is still working, it's just my internet that's crappy. What is my favorite language? Probably C#, but I don't get to write it very often, so fortunately, haven't really worked with it in quite a long time. Okay. But, let's see, can I load this? No. Well, that's gonna make this hard. Oh, dang it. Pretty hard to do work if you can't do work, you know? Oh, here we go. It loaded eventually. Okay, this is not so bad. That's working all right. How much did Microsoft pay you to say C#? Yeah, how much did Microsoft pay me to use Azure Pipelines and GitHub Actions too? Sponsor! No. Man, I wish I could get sponsored by Microsoft. That'd be dope. They could get paid to stream by a company that pays money. Did I click this button or not? I forget. I did not, apparently. I feel like a kid with a Chromebook saw your IP is now slowly pinging you. Yeah. That'd be pretty funny. Okay. Just more of the same as before. This one I'll copy from a different repository. So it's all about the copy paste today. Triggers, pull request, builds, save. This should be 41 once this number updates. Yeah, so this is 41. This is the template that I usually use. But we'll bump to version 1.0.0, and I don't care about Windows, and I don't care about... Oh, these are fine, whatever. What else do I need to do? I need to get rid of the Travis YAML, I need to update the README, which I can grab from PyUpgrade. And then I need to change out the number from 2 to 41. And then I need to change PyUpgrade to Cheetah-Lint. A little bit tedious. We'll get there eventually. Oh, that's annoying. This must have been before I cared about Markdown. Also, this would be nicer if it were formatted properly. Control. Console is what I want. Then we want to change this, which I think I can just copy this one. Looks right. High upgrade text dot. Okay, so we delete the Travis YAML. We replace the badges with cheetah-lint and 41. And then a little bit of Markdown cleanup. And we add Azure Pipelines config and we rewrite the talks file. Azure Pipelines, skip Travis. Piplines. Spelling, definitely my strong suit right there. Raha says, I'm trying to get my hands on Git, but it's not working well. That sounds like my first experiences with Git. Git is not the easiest thing to deal with. Oh, come on, GitHub. I bet I can create a pull request using the API. But, oh, maybe it'll give me a no CSS page, and that'll be fine. Why are we having trouble with GitHub? Curl. Curl location. That's working fine. Is this domain the problem? Yes. So I'm having trouble loading GitHubassets.com. That's what, that's why my internet is having problems. I wonder why. This is what a pull request creation looks like with no CSS. Let's see if we can actually... Do you think the button's gonna work? Oh, it even has the patch here. I think this button will work. Seems to be working-ish. If Git breaks, delete and clone. Feels bad, man. Yeah, that's kind of true, Arxam. Although, I've mostly learned how to unbreak Git. Usually for me, it's... Let's see. Nothing in here. This command will often unbreak Git because it will... it'll delete any contents in your repo that aren't checked in. Also git reset -- hard. Say like master, origin / master. I use that one a lot too. But yeah, you're right. Sometimes it's just reclone is the best thing to do. What DNS are you using? That's a good question. How can I check that? Network. Sure. Network. Not click on this button again. Network properties. DNS servers. Oh, so my router is where I'm getting DNS from. Let's see how that's configured. No, don't save my password. Advanced setup. Oh, where the fuck is DNS in here? No USB drive. Okay, I didn't need to click on that. Internet setup. Is that what I want? DNS. Get automatically from ISP. Maybe I should switch to 8888. Oh, resolve-conf is probably not going to help me. This is probably just going to point at, yeah, at DNS mask. Oh, sorry, systemd resolve D. But this DNS doesn't actually matter because this is a NAT network. It's a Windows network that actually matters. But oh, it loaded the CSS this time, so that's good. And CI is failing, so that's also helpful. Oh, I should open that in a new tab. No, stop. Where's the stop button? Is there no stop button? Oh, there it is. PyPy failed. Why? Oh, right. Oh, what? That's not what I expected. That's really not what I expected. It succeeded and then... Oh, wait, what? No, it didn't succeed. Command succeeded. Congratulations. While failing. Failing to install something. Well, it's fine. We'll just not test PyPy then. In the words of sarcastic Dante, fuck PyPy. Anything wrong with 1111? 1111 is fine. It's just whether you trust Cloudflare. Which I trust Cloudflare, because I use them as my domain registrar and other things. 111 is fine. They have a cool website too, if I remember right. Maybe I should just change my DNS? Like, what could go wrong? Like, famous last words? Should I just set it here to 8888? And pray? 888 and pray? What's Google's secondary DNS? Is this a bad idea? 8888 and 1111? 8844. Do I trust chat? let me look it up. I'm gonna look it up on my phone. Let's see. Google DNS second servers, sure. 888, okay, you were right. It actually is. Okay. Where's the save button? Oh, there's a test button. I'm not registering my product. No. Go away. Go away. Alright. Oh, what is this doing? Oh, it's dropping frames. Aw, dang it. This is why you don't mess with internet settings live. Are we back? Are we back? Can you guys see me? No, we're not back. Wait, can you guys see me? Connection refused. Immediate regrets. Welcome to the chat room. It says I'm here. I don't know if we're live or not. Can't really tell. Says no. This is so dumb. I don't know why I decided this was a good idea to mess with internet settings in the middle of the stream. What could go wrong, right? Everything. At this point, I almost have to like reboot. Like I can't load Twitch. That seems to be the problem. I'm just gonna switch back to the old DNS and see what happens. I am sad. And just fill this set of the video, part of the video with dead air. What we're gonna do, I guess. At least CI passed. No internet. We're working now. Host not found. Yeah, rebooting the router in the middle of the stream. What could go wrong? Oh, we're getting resolving now. I think Chrome is just confused. Well, Firefox isn't having any better tries. Let's try starting the stream again. I don't think that's working either.
cynical, I'm not in control when you turn to smile at me with your eyes like fire and your lips like gravity. I wanna wake up by your side, pretend everything's gonna be alright.
I'm just talking to chat on my phone. Oh, this is loading now. That's promising. Oh, we're back to green. Praise be. I think things are working again. Are we back live? Yay! Presumably everyone is gone now. Oh, that's fine. Anyway. I set the DNS settings back to default and reverted back. I'm just gonna stop messing with the network on stream because I don't really want to mess with that anymore. But this is working now, so I can check off another one on this list. Oh, a bunch of you guys are still here somehow, though. Are we back? Can anyone confirm? It looks like it's live to me. Don't know, though. But that one was easier, partially because it was just copying an existing template. Alright, what's next? This CSS exploration tool. What does the Travis do here? Runs talks. What does talks do? Is it just gonna be pre-commit? Oh, it has tests. I don't remember there being tests for this thing. I guess there are? Pi27fi. Was this when oh. Wow, and I dropped Python 2.6. That's some old patches. Yeah. Back when you had to pip install argparse. I do not miss those days. Alright, git clone. Okay. I guess I should do the clicky part first. This one worked. New build pipeline. Classic. GitHub. That repository continue. YAML apply. A lot of clicking to make this work. There we go. But then we should be able to do save. And now we can do the patch here, so... What was the repo we just did? I already forget. Oh yeah, Cheetahland. What am I trying to do? There we go. Edit this file. You can probably add PyPy back here, presumably. Have you turned it off and turned it back on again? Yeah, that is actually exactly what I did to break and unbreak the stream. Am I back? Am I actually back? I can't really tell. It looks like it is to me, but I also don't know. Do the same rebadging here. Oh, that reminds me. We actually got rid of PyPy here, so we should make this honest at least. Ugh. What is TO tabulating with? Oh, tools. Cheetah compile. What is this? Does this even work? Initial commit. This script is useful for testing templates and looking at the intermediate Python output. Alright, past self, I'll trust you. Hey, what's up, outdated version? Haven't seen you in a while. You are a cool cat, indeed. Welcome back, friend. But what was I doing? Alright, I was fixing this talks.ini. And I'm not gonna mess with my DNS settings anymore. Actually, this has Python 3.8 now. So might as well put that in here too. And we're just gonna push that one straight to master. So one thing that I noticed, I was watching some of my previous recordings at like 4x speed, and I constantly switch between, like I'll do a bunch of work in the left screen, and then I'll do a bunch of work in the right screen, and then I'll just switch back and forth the whole time. And I found that really amusing. I don't know why I found it amusing. It was just like something that I noticed, and it looks really funny at fast speed. Oh, this one doesn't match either. Set these to console. PyPy 3. That's what we're testing here as well, so that matches up. Sugulatum asks, where do you prefer to store isort / flakate / etc. stuff? Is it okay to store all this in setup.cfg? I've heard an opinion that storing it, that you should only store setup tools metadata in setup.cfg. What do you think? So I don't configure flakate at all. I usually just use the defaults. And I don't use isort, so I don't need to configure that one. That said, I do have some configuration. I'll show you where I configure those. Where's a good example project? PyUpgrade, as good as any. So I do some of my configuration in setup.cfg and some of it in talks.ini. This is all packaging metadata. And then this is a tool configuration. So I configure MyPy using setup.cfg. Mostly because MyPy doesn't have a way to configure with talks. And then talks, I configure one thing. This is for AutoPip8. It's not for Flake8, despite the setting here saying that. Oh, what's up, Zoitrix? Thank you for the follow. Sorry, my follow notifications are all sorts of messed up. My internet is having some struggles. Apparently the stream's working fine, but everything else... Oh. I always forget that this... so this is the music playlist that I'm listening to right now, but this video has eyeballs. And every time it comes up, it's just like, oh, person staring at me. Yes, I did get a haircut last weekend, I think, or maybe it was 2 weekends ago. I don't know, pretty recently though. So yes, new haircut, new me. Also, new microphone setup. So hopefully the audio is slightly better. Also, I'm streaming at 1080p, so you might notice that as a difference as well. So hopefully that one's fine. That extra new line doesn't matter. Should be good to go, hopefully. Assuming we can actually load the pull request page, because that's what we were having trouble with before. Well, it seems to be working fine now, which is good. But hopefully that one will be able to check off. Assuming it starts building. I saved it here. Okay, it's building, cool. Alright, what's the next one? We can start on the next one while that one does its thing, hopefully. Unless Travis CI is not going to load for me, and then we're going to have some trouble. That was actually the whole thing that started this, is Travis CI was not loading, so I reset all my DNS settings, and oh, I guess I can do it on my phone. Be one way to do it. You guys won't have the satisfaction of me checking the little box, but I can at least tell you that I'm doing it. Yeah, because Travis is just really not loading for me today. Things. Oh, I'm loading it on my phone. Travis CI. Because it's not loading here. My phone is not on Wi-Fi, so it's still working there. Alright, the next one is, dumbconf. So I wrote this thing. It was originally going to be configuration language, and then I never finished it. But it was my first attempt at writing a parser from scratch. And the idea of dumbconf is kind of great, but the implementation never really got there. The idea was to have, well, here's all the specs. So always UTF-8. You can have inline comments with a hash and no other type of comments. You can have quoted strings, either single quotes or double quotes, similar to Python, basically the same as Python rules. Although I didn't ever implement multi-line strings. Keys and maps can be bare words, so you could have no need for quotes on keys that are identifier names. You have to quote other things that could be something else, so true could be a boolean, so you have to change that. 2 tokens for booleans, true and false. You can have numbers, integers can be hex or binary or octal or decimal. You can have floating point numbers. There's null. You can have inline lists like this. You can have multi-line lists like this. It requires a trailing comma. And the suggestion, I don't remember whether it was implemented or not, is that these match the same indentation level. You can have hybrid lists as well, where some are inline, some are multi-line. You can have maps. And you can have top-level maps where you can leave out the brackets and commas. So it's kind of supposed to look a little bit like YAML, but way less complicated. But, I mean, I got this parsing, but then I didn't finish the project. Now it looks like I merged that. That means I can turn off that one. Do that on my phone. I don't know why my DNS is having issues, but... Oh, speaking of I was talking about my dad's books earlier. He just sent me the draft for the latest book, so I'm gonna start reviewing that pretty soon. But yeah, we can merge this. Something is still struggling to load here. Probably these badges here. Which is probably still my DNS cache, either caching a bad value or, oh, and we're not going to be able to see these badges either, so. Oh well. Alright, so we'll set up another Azure pipeline for this. I clicked the button, right? Yeah? Oh no, is this not loading either? Oh, there we go. It's just slow. Classic editor, GitHub, dumbconf. New. YAML, apply. Triggers, pull request enabled. That look right? Yeah, save. So this one should be similar to the other one we were looking at. Dumbconf. Isidentu says, please, someone knowledgeable let me know. What is a good technology on top of WebSockets that I can use to build a small chat client in TypeScript? I don't know. Can't help you there, unfortunately. Yes, this is Python 2, Python 3, and PyPy. Cool. Copy these over. Presumably, we'll replace 42 with 43. Not that 42 though. And CSX Explorer with dumbconf. Sorry for asking your chat. I've asked my Discord server, but no luck. Oh yeah, no problem. Feel free to ask whatever you want in chat. I'm not gonna limit you in chat. The more messages, the better, I guess. Except for spam. So no spam, but asking questions is completely fine. Cool. It is spam. No, it's not spam. It's fine. It's completely fine. It's not just like random messages. Azure pipelines. Okay, does that look right? Upgrade pre-commit. Delete the Travis YAML. Azure pipeline, skip Travis. It's still trying to load that domain. That's so wild. I don't know why it's having such trouble. Clear Chrome DNS cache. Is that a thing that I can do? Yeah, I tried that already. And that's when everything went sadness. Maybe my DNS is just completely broken, and these are just all the domains that I've already resolved. That would make sense. That's why Google is still working, GitHub is still working. Oh, DNS. It's always DNS, one way or another. Coming to screw me over. I update this. Dumbconf and 43. That's what we got there. Oh, I wonder if the lag here is it like reaching out to like Google Analytics or something and having a DNS failure. It's still weird to me that like I think my DNS is completely busted right now, but things are still kind of working. Who knows? Who knows? You can stop loading because you're never gonna finish. And then I can look at what's the next one after dumbconf. Oh, that's weird. My watch just gave me a push notification that it is completely charged. Not exactly what I expected. Oh, the next project's pretty cool. Although, I don't know that I'll be able to show you it because my DNS is broken. Yeah, I can't show you because there's an image right here, but you can't see it. So this is a project called Import Time Waterfall. It uses the import time tracing that's new in Python 3.7, and basically gives you a graph of the imports and like what amount of time each of the imports takes. So this allows you to like profile stuff. Normally it renders as like a as one of these like waterfalls here. That was the whole idea. I don't know what that's about. Oh, we set it to all. Yeah, this is the thing that's failing. I can't resolve this domain for some reason. Ping github usercontent.com. Yeah, this is the DNS problem I'm having right now. Summed up. Oh, hey, what's up, Grim? How's it going? I'm currently struggling with DNS right now, so it's actually amazing that my stream is working at all. Open up! This is a raid! Yeah, so the weird thing is all of the domains that I've previously resolved are kind of working. So like I can load GitHub, I can load visualstudio.com, which is what I'm working on right now, which is moving my CI over. And I can't load anything else. I can load Twitch, I have Streamlabs open, and YouTube is working. But like I can't load, for instance, GitHub usercontent.com. So any of the like images that are showing on the page just don't show up at all. But other than that, it's going well. And I can't load travissci.org, so I'm currently flipping things on and off on my phone instead of doing it on stream. So I just turned off Travis on my phone for this. But other than that, it's going well. I don't actually know if Streamlabs is working either, so it's been blipping in and out, so I might not even be getting follow or any other sort of notifications. Oh, like it didn't notify for the raid, so presumably that's not working. Oh, I can see them on Twitch though. But usually there's an overlay, so sorry the overlay is not working. But hey, what's up, Raylon Masters? Thank you for the follow. Hope you're doing well. Assume you came with the raid, so thank you again. But yeah, and Snarfgasm. Oh, Streamlabs is kind of working. Snarfgasm, thank you for the follow as well. But I don't know why my overlay is not working. Maybe I can... there's this little trick that I've used before to get it to reload. I set the overlay to something that's broken. So you can see the 404 right now. But if I set it back to this, let's see if I replay this, will it show up? No? No. Oh well, I tried. Presumably like their assets are broken or some other DNS problem is happening, so I tried, but I'll pay attention to the little Twitch window instead, since that one seems to be at least working. But yeah, so we just ported over this one to Azure Pipelines, so now we're gonna do the next one. Have you tried switching DNS? Yes. I've tried that a couple of times, and turns out when you change DNS in the middle of streaming, it just kind of breaks the stream. So I'm not gonna do that one again. Hey, what's up, Jackie Alcine? Thank you for the follow. Even though there's no overlay, I'm still gonna mention you, but thank you. Yeah, I recently, or I played with DNS earlier, and it made things better, but it also made things worse. I switched to 8888 and it seemed to improve the situation, but then I couldn't resolve Twitch, so I could do everything except for Twitch. Yeah, and it knocked me off of everything as well. Hey, what's up, Creative CJ and Bakanor? Thank you both for the follow. But yeah, also this button is kind of broken. But yeah, I was using 8888 and 8844, and there's some cache in between me, or somewhere either my router or my desktop or my VM. somewhere in the middle, there's a DNS cache that's breaking things, so that wasn't working for me. So I'm just dealing with it instead. So I switched back to not using Google's DNS. I'll probably mess with it after the stream to get that working better. But currently showing how many clicks it is to set up CI on Azure pipelines. It's unfortunately a lot to get it properly set up. But I've done it like 4 or 5 times this stream, so getting better at it one at a time. Hopefully it comes back up soon. Yeah, you and me both, Snarfgasm. Kissme says, why are you using Azure pipelines? A couple of reasons. I can't really show you because my DNS is fucked, but the first reason is from the other CI providers, they have the widest platform support and the most free tier parallel builders. So they have, I want to say, 10 parallel builders and direct support for Linux, Windows, and macOS. I don't use the macOS builders at all, but presumably I could. And the 10 parallel builders is pretty great. I'm also using GitHub Actions in a couple places, and it turns out GitHub Actions and Azure pipelines are the same tech behind the scenes, so they're not any different. But GitHub Actions apparently has a even more generous parallel builders over even like GitLab. I've only worked with GitLab's runners once, and if I remember right, GitLab only supports Linux builders, and I build some cross-platform software, so I need to run CI in both, although not for this particular project. Makes sense as they're both Microsoft products now, yes. As far as I can tell, GitHub Actions is just a reskinned Azure pipelines. In fact, they use the same like post images behind the scenes. And I would really like to show you this project that I'm switching CI for, but unfortunately I can't load the asset. Oh, maybe it's in the image. Maybe it's in the... Maybe I checked in the image? Yeah. Yeah, so I can show you that. So the idea behind this project is it profiles import startup time and then gives you a HAR format. HAR is HTTP archive or something like that. I don't know. But the idea is it gives you a standard format that you can then visualize with a bunch of external tools. And so this is an example where I imported itself, and it just shows the modules and their total time being used. And so you can see like, and the times are bogus because you can't actually do microsecond resolution on HTTP archive. It just doesn't support that load down. It supports milliseconds. So these are all multiplied by I think 5,000 or by 1,000 or something like that. No, it's not website load time. It's Python import time. But I'm using website load time tools to visualize it. It's very sneaky. I basically wanted a visualization tool. Like I had data, I just didn't have a good way to see it, and this was a good way to translate that data into a viz. But yeah, like this is I think 150 milliseconds, and so this is like it took 53 milliseconds to load argparse, and the purple time is other modules imports, and then gray is self time. So you can see like this signal module spends very little time importing other stuff and almost all of its time just doing its own thing. whereas argparse spends most of its time importing these modules right here. Yeah, the get is sneaky, but yeah, it was so I could like kind of weasel it into a different format. So it's they're not actually 200 OKs. They're actually Python imports. So it's pretty sneaky, but it works pretty well. And I actually used this to do some profiling on a couple of projects. This is before I maintained Flake 8, but I made a huge optimization to the startup time of Flake 8 by like 42% or something ridiculous. Just by using this tool and looking what it imported and figuring out, oh, well, we don't need to import that module. We can just delete that code and speed up the import time, or we can defer the import to when it's actually used. And so I was able to speed up. I think it was setup tools was causing it to be slow, and like you don't need setup tools at runtime usually. But anyway, cool project. Oh, hey, what's up, BigNBot? Yeah, the thing that I'm actually working on today is moving CI over for a bunch of things, but I'm explaining each of the projects as I go along. So this is one where it profiles Python import startup time. But yeah, we're basically doing a lot of copy and paste. What was the last one I just did? Dumb conf. So I happen to know that this project doesn't support anything older than Python 3.7, so we can delete all of these. Anything special in the talks.ini? We do, so we need to include this. I don't remember if there's tests for this thing, so there might not be any tests. There are no tests. Amazing. Right, because I wrote this very quickly, probably on stream, so there are no tests. This is fine. Most of the time I write tests for things, even these like one-off projects, but this one I must have been pressed for time and didn't bother. Which means there's no coverage either. What was the build definition for this? 44. 43 with 44. Nope. And then import time waterfall. That should hopefully be enough. What's it called? I like to mess with it. It's called github.com/acetilly/import time waterfall. It requires Python 3.7 or newer due to a feature due to the import time setting, which is new in Python 3.7. Let's see. Travis, readme, Azure pipelines.yaml, and talks.ini. Okay, that looks good. And did I save the pipeline here? I did. Yeah, but my DNS is currently like super broken, so a lot of stuff is not working for me. But I can load github.com partially. Earlier, the CSS was not loading for GitHub, so I was like making pull requests without actually being able to see the styling of the page. And it turns out GitHub is pretty, it degrades pretty well, surprisingly. So I was able to click through stuff without worrying, or without really seeing what's going on. Oh, I can resolve Travis CI again. Cool. So now you can actually see me flipping these switches. So this is the next one that I'm flipping the switch for. I did a bunch of these off stream a while ago. That's why they're already done. But the next page, so I did page 1 except for this one project, Ancient Pythons, mostly because it's a special snowflake. But I was demoing that earlier. I wanted to try and build really, really old versions of Python, so I tracked down like the sources of them and built or wrote some patches so that I could build them. But this is Python 0.9.1, which has very, very little in terms of features. But you can, it doesn't even have readline support. But it's actually pretty easy to crash. I forget, what was that thing that made it crash before? Type error, illegal argument type for built-in operation. You can't add instant... you couldn't add integers and floats in Python 0.9.1, apparently. But I don't know. I was able to get it to segfault before. I can't exit. How do I quit? Control D, I guess, works. But yeah, Ancient Pythons is a way to build a bunch of really old Pythons. But its Travis setup is kind of special snowflake, so I don't have a great way to port it over directly yet, and so I just kind of skipped it. Oh no! The build is failing. Alright. That one's easy to fix. In fact, I have a command that just fixes that part of the build. So that will get fixed. What was the other failures? Generate coverage. Oh, right. There's no tests. There's no coverage. How do I disable that? Azure Pipelines Templates. There's a setting for it, I believe. Coverage true, so set coverage false. Coverage false. Because I don't have any tests. Hey, what's up, QWERTY Wort? I think I've seen you in chat before. Your name sounds familiar. It's a good name. I like it. Oh, I wonder if this is loading now. Oh, maybe my DNS is fixed. Maybe we can see... Oh, yay, we can see images again. Cool. This is the same image that I showed you before, but... Oh, okay, 24%, not 42%. I misremembered. But yeah, I did some basic profiling here a long time ago. And shaved off like 50 milliseconds off startup. And the change was super easy. I just like moved this import into here. But now we don't even use setup tools in Flake8. We use entry points instead, and I plan to move it to, what's it called? Import lib metadata. But I haven't done that yet. Soon, / eventually. Waiting for console output. Yeah, this is one thing that's kind of annoying with Azure Pipelines is they don't buffer this properly. They also don't allocate a PTY, so we don't see color codes or any of the other stuff. But oh no. Missing type parameters for completed process. Oh. I upgraded the type checker and the type checker got smarter. So this would be completed process stir. I have to quote it because this type is fake. Although this is Python 3.7, so I can use this. Right. I need to be using a new enough pre-commit in order for it to notice that. presumably this should fix those errors. If not, they'll pass in CI, whatever. Assume based on it rebuilding that it knows that I'm using 3.7 now. Close this. Yeah. Completed process used to be an opaque type, but now it's genericized based on the strings it can return. Because subprocess.run echo hi. Does this pipe by default? Oh wait, echo hi. Standard out equals subprocess.pipe. So you can see here, standard out is a bytes type. But if I set encoding equals UTF-8, it's now a text type. And so this is why they parameterized that value. Okay, my pie's passing now. Oops. Right. It was using the Python 3.6 pre-commit, so it didn't know what it was doing. That's fine, so that should fix this. That's what I said last time. Oh, I wonder if my stream overlays are working again. Nope. Still no. I clicked the button though. This didn't work. Well, maybe I can reload it. It should be broken, and then I fix it. Now do they work? Hey, there we go. We got stream overlays back. Means my DNS is mostly recovered, which is good. Okay, yes, but fix that type annotation. This should hopefully pass now. Oh, I wonder what the output of these is. Not that one. Next. Okay, yeah. So you can see this is like the default display, where it just displays the module self times in a like more readable output. And then this is the har output, which is completely unreadable. But you can copy and paste this. Copy har viewer. And then, assuming that I copy and pasted that properly, maybe my DNS is not fixed. Dang it, ruining all my demos. Cry. Hey, what's up? I love Guido Van Rossum. Your student is also on the work. Very funny. Okay, this is not gonna work, so we're not gonna bother. This is working now. You can merge that and turn off this one. Twitch is not safe at work. Oh, Travis is broken again. Great. Okay, well, I'll just do it on my phone. I know that works. I just flick the little switch off on another one. We're working in a bit of a degraded situation, but that's fine. Oh, what's the next one? The next one. We're on page 3 of 4 of my Travis projects, so we're getting close there. Oh, that one's gonna be tricky, so we'll skip that one. No, this one. This will be the next one, I think. This one is just a simple CLI that takes Markdown and converts it to HTML. I realize there's like a million of these, but this one was just a quick wrapper around Mistoon, which is a Markdown library and Pigments, which is a code highlighting library. The idea was to make code fences work and highlight them properly. I use this for a couple of things. I use it for the pre-commit documentation. Really? I type in precommit.com and it searches for it instead of just loading it? That's weird. But yeah, like these code blocks are rendering using Markdown to HTML. Like this one here. Although this is also using a different thing, which is a code highlighter. I can't see your emotes. I love Guido Van Rossum. They're not loading for me. Because I'm still having DNS problems. I bet I don't have tests for this thing. Oh, I guess I'm wrong. I'm kind of surprised. I guess it does like one thing, so it's probably not so bad to test that one thing. That was weird. Why you gotta troll, my dude? Why you gotta troll? Leave me alone. Just in time for tea. Yeah, DNS is a monster that hides under my bed and gives me nightmares. Yes, absolutely. Our project at work we recently lost like 4 weeks just to a DNS problem. So it's been a struggle, and my DNS today is like super broken, so that's why that's not working. Which is why this button didn't do anything when I clicked it, but if I click it a second time, oh, that worked before. Who the duck uses DNS in 2019? I'm pretty sure the whole internet uses DNS. I think you don't have any choice. What's DOH, Grim? I would Google it, but I... Yeah, we tried switching... Oh, DNS over HTTP? Yeah, we tried switching to 8888 earlier, and it made everything worse somehow. But I assume there's like some bad... there's some bad cache in between somewhere. And so I'll need to restart all of my tech and get that eventually working. Oh, DNS over HTTP. Yeah, that was isn't Cloudflare working on that a lot too? I don't know. Something might be eating UDP packets. Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me. But yeah, that's something for me to try. Presumably my home network isn't completely broken. But if it is, I can probably get my service provider to fix it. Theory. Which traceroute do we want? Presumably that one. Let's see if I can download packages. Nope. No traceroute for me. Oh, my chatbot is broken too. Oh, connection reset. Okay, we'll put the bot back. There you go. Now you can see commands. Yeah. Yeah, I don't have, well, can't install traceroute. Maybe I can... Is there... What's the equivalent in Windows? I can't Google it either. Tracert? Okay, let's try that. Oh. Tracert. I don't know what capital U is, but... Well, it's going. It's doing things. Just use Windows subsystem for Linux, yeah. These are the right trolls. Yeah, Windows does, or Command does not have tab complete. I probably should have used PowerShell. -U is UDP packets. Oh. Looks like there's no such option for the Windows equivalent, unfortunately. But yeah, I don't use Windows Subsystem for Linux. I'm using a VM. But such is life, I guess. Okay. Finish this off. Markdown code blocks. Should be build 44, maybe? You're right, Specs. Those are the useful commands. I use Windows Subsystem for Linux to SSH in my headless VMs. Yeah. That makes sense. I just prefer full VMs, personally. It's much easier to, like, blow them away and deal with them, and I don't have to deal with the weird, hypervisor stuff. And now, Specs, thanks for stopping by. See you around in the future, hopefully. I've seen you around in the past, so I assume I'll see you in the future. And don't mind the bot just in time. It's just trolling. It's all in good fun. Okay. Oh, I hope I'm here in the future. Yeah, me too. Hopefully I'm here in the future, right? Okay, what was I actually... Okay, we can actually move this over now. Delete Travis, copy a Azure pipelines from something else. So this is tested Python 2 and Python 3, so this should be fine. So you can also copy... Let's see, is there anything special in talks? Nope. Copy the badges from the README. Unfortunately, I have to change them. I gotta grab that build ID. 45. So place 43 with 45. My stream overlays are broken, so sorry about that. But hey, what's up, Alpha Gains and Just in Time for Tea? Thank you both for the follow. I can still see the notifications, but the stream overlay is just busted, so... oh, also there was JM2MMA. Thank you as well for the follow. That one didn't show up. Twitch, DNS, sadness. Everything is sad. We're gonna need to update the hooks at the same time. Do that while we're at it. Just another commit here. Sorry for this, but I have to delay sending patches. My boss is warning you about your keyboard speed. What's wrong with my keyboard speed? Am I too fast? Too slow? I type pretty fast. Hopefully it's fast enough for you. Although sometimes I go too fast and then chat's like, what are you doing? It's too fast for my boss. Wait, who's your boss now? I thought you were Hayden's boss. Wasn't that the joke? I don't even remember anymore. But hopefully this starts building. Is that this right? Yeah. It's pretty annoying how many clicks that I need to do just to set up Azure pipelines for these. This is actually typing ASMR. Welcome to the ASMR stream. I hope you guys are ready for a good stream. Just like do some it's another ASMR stream for me. Is this a homework help Sunday? I haven't done homework in so long. You're giving me some PTSD here, Axion Evolved. Right now I'm just kind of chatting and doing some tedious stuff, answering questions as much as I can. It is Sunday. It's Sunday for me, at least. It's Monday in Spain. Yeah. I mean, it's Monday somewhere. Makes sense. But this will build. Wait, is Travis still not loading? I have it open here. Yeah, Travis is not loading. I can load it on my phone. Ooh, questions. What's the difference between concurrency and asynchrony? Oh. Is this an interview? You're trolling, okay. See, the problem is I don't always remember the difference between the two. But I usually look it up and then I know. But if I remember right, no, I'm not gonna even try. Okay, it passed, cool. So, I gotta turn it off on my phone, because at least DNS is working there. Annoying. The next project that I would do, but I think it has a custom setup, so I'll do that one later, is this No Many Linux 1. So Many Linux is a new standard, well new, it's not new anymore, it's 3-ish years old now. But it allows you to pre-build C extension modules. But one common approach to building these Many Linux wheels is to vendor all of your normally dynamically linked binaries into the distributable. And so, like, for instance, if somebody bundles libSSL, you might not know whether you're using a vulnerable version or not. So it's kind of hard from a security perspective to know whether you're using the right packages. And you don't get free security patches from your operating system upgrading packages. So I built a thing to disable them. That's what this package is. But the reason I'm not going to switch this one over quite yet is this setup is not my standard setup, and I want to say it uses Docker. Oh. Where's the Docker tests? Maybe I called Docker in the test. Oh, I do. Okay, yeah. There we go. No? Oh no, this is not the Docker one. The other one uses Docker. I guess I could just do this one. I don't know why I use a makefile and not just like a normal package like everything else that I've written ever. Yeah, gevent is also, oh yeah. Yeah, asynchronous, gevent. What keyboard do you have? In fact, I have a chat command for this. I have 2 keyboards. Probably not gonna be able to load this. Yeah, I can't load this. Anyway, I can't show you my other keyboard on stream, but you guys can click the link. I just can't click the link. Also, I had to test with a Bitcoin package. This is what made me so sad about this. But this one doesn't have a standard CI setup, so we're just gonna skip that one. But yeah, the code keyboard is the one that I use for streaming. I also bought one for myself at work. And my second keyboard is a 2-key mechanical keyboard that I built from a kit. and I built that one because this is like a super first world problem. At work, I have a MacBook, and I don't like macOS, so I installed Linux on it. And oh, it's the year of Linux on the desktop. Of course, everything is like slightly broken with Linux. Like my sound driver is broken, so like the little headphone jack constantly has the little like what's it called? The SPIDF or whatever. The little red LED is always on. Well, I can't fix that one. Hey, what's up, Peaky Dicers? Yeah, it is a late night stream. But one of the things that's broken is if I plug in two 4K monitors, which it should run because macOS runs it fine. But if I plug in two 4K monitors, hey, look, the stream overlay is working again. Oh man, so many files that I missed. I will say them in one sec. If I plug in two 4K monitors, for whatever reason, all three of the screens go black. And I haven't bothered like debugging why that is yet. But I've found a workaround. If I close the lid of the laptop, I can plug both of them in, and then it works fine. But then I don't have a play or pause button for my music, so because I used to just like use the play pause button on the MacBook, and I guess there's like a key combo to do it with this keyboard, but that was before I had this keyboard. So I was like, I want to play pause my music, but I can't open my laptop to do that. So I was like, I bet I could build like the tiniest macro keyboard ever, and so that's why I have that other keyboard. It's really silly, but that's why. So I already said JN2MMA, but thank you again for the follow. And how do I say this? I'm gonna say Speed Demon, although it would have been 33D. Speed Demon ZGod27, thank you for the follow, as well as D Jamstar and Glockner and PinchMe72. Thank you all for the follow. Sorry it's delayed. I'm having hilarious DNS issues right now, to which like I can only load these domains and nothing else. And I can load Twitch, I can load visualstudio.com, and I can load GitHub, which is enough for me to continue streaming, and it's pretty obnoxious, but other than that, it's working pretty fine. It's GNU plus DNS, yeah. Arch Linux Masters. Oh, we found the Arch Linux user. Are you also vegan? And what else? AK nudes. GNU DNS, yeah. GNUs. It's not a bug, it's a feature. Yeah. But I wish I had 3 screens, because 3 screens would be better than 2, but alas, can't. But yeah, let me see what the next thing to move over is. Well, there's so many left. That one has a weird Docker setup, so I can't do that one. Oh, I can do that one. Okay, so the next one that we're moving over, let me just do the clicky parts first. Pigments, precommit. So Pigments is a syntax highlighter library thing. And I wrote a Pigments plugin for it that highlights the precommit output. Precommit is a linter framework that I wrote. Hey, what's up, ASDF Bobby1234? Thank you for the follow. Sorry, the stream overlay broken again. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But I can see you in the Twitch feed thing, so I know you followed. Thank you. Oh no, no. Is VisualStudio.com broken for me now? That would be tragic. That would suck. Yeah, so unfortunately precommit is poorly named. This is a particular framework that I wrote, which targets precommit hooks, but it also targets a bunch of other Git hooks as well. When I wrote it, it was originally like just for Git and just for precommit hooks. But now it's mostly just like a generic linter formatter tool installation thing. And it works pretty well. I use it for all sorts of stuff. But this is this output here and the coloring here is the result of Pigment's pre-commit, the highlighting thing. This is mostly working now. I guess DNS figured itself out. But yeah, the syntax highlighting is what does this here. Hey, just in time for tea. Thank you for the Twitch Prime sub. It's just my Prime, but you had me at linter. Yeah, I love linters and code formatters and those sorts of things. They're kind of my like passion projects. But pre-commit is great. You set up a configuration where you list the tools that you want to install, and it manages installing them and running them on your files for you. So you don't have to like worry about all that setup and stuff and installing all these tools, managing all those versions and stuff. It just does it for you. And so you can see like you can install all sorts of tools with it. Pigment's pre-commit. And it's cross-platform. Yeah, it works on Windows, Linux, and macOS, and presumably others, but I haven't tested it on other platforms. But yeah, it tries to normalize all of the platform stuff and like make all of that work really well. And you can see like I install all sorts of different tools with it. So like import reorders, this upgrades source. It's I've written a bunch of these tools as well. And like Flake8, which is like a syntax checker, which I also maintain. There's a theme here. Linters. We have a command for that, actually. But yeah, no OS2 or C64 support. Yeah, we're not supporting the Commodore. I mean, it might work. If you can run Python 2 on it, if you run Python 2.7 on it, you can probably run pre-commit. But getting Python 2.7 to build on OS2 or C64 would be a struggle, probably. But anyways, this is the next project we're going to move the CI for. I also wrote one of these for PyTest. Can we load pytest.org? Oh, we can, kind of. Not able to load the CSS, though. So that's probably not going to load. But anyway, if you open up pytest.org and look at the output, I wrote a Pigments highlighter for that as well. Because I'm also a maintainer there. Pigments pre-commit. But yeah, it used to be like plain black and white. I screenshot it on Twitter. Maybe I can get it on Twitter. Can I load Twitter? I can load Twitter. Yay. Maybe I can't load Twitter. Seems like I can't load Twitter. And everything's just broken. I can't imagine your life right now without proper DNS. Yeah. My internet is still kind of working somehow, though. So I'm gonna keep going until I get tired, probably. But yeah, it's a struggle. Not having DNS really sucks. Okay, git branch. Azure pipelines. Alright, we're currently testing. Oh, it still supports Python 2. Oh, that's gonna be interesting. So this one is different. So I'm gonna do a hybrid here. We're gonna do GitHub Actions for the push and Azure pipelines for the tests. Yeah, we'll try that. So, copy that here. We're gonna have some GitHub Actions. How do I do this? What was the one I was doing for my personal website? Yeah. cp-r to GitHub. Hey, what's up, Qwerty Wirt? Thank you for the follow. Sorry there's no overlay, but I see you. Just open a reverse proxy for me, and I'll get in there and clean your DNS all up. $9.99 one-time offer. Yeah, what could go wrong? This should be branch master and pip install talks. Pigments, precommit. And this is the talks thing. Oh, but we have to change the variables here. Talks-e push. What variables do I need to pass? I forget. This uses a library that I wrote originally for YouTube episodes, which allows you to like generate slideshows from Markdown. So like you could like write slides like this and use slide separators like this, and you'd end up with 2 slides. And I built a utility alongside this that allows you to push to GitHub pages. And turns out this utility is useful even if you're not making presentations, so I use it in a bunch of places, but I forget which variables are necessary here. GitHub. Looks like GitHub star instead of Travis star. But that should make that work. Copy this in again. Pigments, pre-commit. And then what was the build ID? 43 to 46. Hopefully that'll fix that. ASDF Bobby 1234. Sorry, lol. Could you explain what's going on? All I understand so far is that you've mentioned pigments, which is used for Sublime Text, if I'm not mistaken. Not sure what Azure is being used for here. Oh, I'm switching my testing framework. So right now it uses a. I can't show you the. Oh, here we go. This finally loaded. So this is the highlighting that I did. It's currently using Travis CI, which is one continuous integration provider, which sometimes loads, I guess. But Travis CI got bought out by a company that tends to like kill open source projects that they purchase, and they fired half their developers. And Azure Pipelines also provides twice as many parallel builders. So I've switched to, I'm trying to switch all of my CI to Azure Pipelines or GitHub Actions. Basically just so I can have faster CI and not, or be a little less afraid of it disappearing, I guess. So I'm doing a bunch of tedious stuff, but also talking about all the projects and answering questions in chat and like whatever you guys want to see from me, basically. But this highlighting here is also the result of a Pigments plugin that I wrote, but for PyTest instead of Precommit. Precommit's one was super easy because it only colors like one thing, and so pretty easy to handle there. This changes slightly because of the way that I did this. I see. Thanks for that. What did you say about Travis CI? Oh, it's mostly it's slower. It provides fewer parallel builders, and I'm afraid of it going away due to the company that bought them out. Oh, I should also add the badge for the deployment. What repo do I have for that? My website has it, right? forgot Princey there, though. That would have been a fun one. Okay, builds on pull request and on master. Do I need to build it on pull requests? I might as well. Like, it'll run this. Oh, it also runs the tests. Is that gonna work? Yeah, that'll work. Fine, whatever. Oh, right. I need to run the tests because that... the side effect of the tests is building the sample outputs. That's disappointing. I've used Travis CI extensively. Time to roll my own, I guess. Yeah. I mean, Azure Pipelines seems really nice. Also, there's this really cool feature that I've been using where you can basically build CI templates and then include them. So, like, I have all this, like, boilerplate for running Tox Python environments in Azure Pipelines and, like, coverage and promotion of wheels and, like, all sorts of stuff. And then, because I did all that work once, I can now just include that template and pass some parameters in, and it splats out the whole thing for me. Oh, Big Rip, where the Vim at? Nano is for the weak. You've noticed that I use Nano. I'm actually working on my own text editor right now, which doesn't do so much right now. This is the color test, which will eventually be used for syntax highlighting, but it's not implemented yet. But here's Babby opening itself. Right now it's kind of like a Nano clone. You can like edit text and like press backspace, enter. Tab doesn't work yet, but I'll make that work eventually. The thing that I worked on the last couple of weeks is undo and redo. Pretty nice. But it like maintains a full undo and redo stack. You can also save. You can open a bunch of files. So if we open like 1, 2, and 3, and like set different states in those, so like this, and like switch back, it remembers the state that we're at, and like even I can go here and undo and redo, and then independently go to this file and undo and redo, and it like maintains all the state there. You can save, so you can use Control-S to save. You can also save using a Vim command, Control-W. Also works. And you can like quit stuff and like go back to oh, I should really clear the status when it switches between. Leave myself a note for that. Statuses, which might not be ideal. But yeah, I'm working on my own text editor. How did you write that? That's pretty fire. It's in Python. It's using curses, which is a terminal cell manipulation library. But it's, other than that, it's entirely standard library Python. So it mostly works from the bottom up. So there's this main function which grabs the file names. It initializes a screen, this is the initialization code for curses. We set escape delay so that key sequences work properly. We initialize the screen, we set a bunch of options on it. We enable color. And then it's a couple of event loops. This is an event loop on the number of files that run. So it will edit a file, and either you'll get exit, previous, or next, and act on that. And then this is the main event loop where it retrieves a input character and then processes it. And that's basically it. It's a bunch of math and some state, and like here's all of the edit actions up here. But I've been working on it on stream on and off. But it's pretty cool. It's a project that I'm like pretty excited about. Eventually I'll be able to use it, and then you guys won't be able to make fun of me for using Nano. Like, oh, you're using your own text editor? That's so rad. But yeah, part of the meme is that you can quit Babby in a bunch of different ways. So like Control-X is how you quit Nano, and Control-XC is how you quit Emacs. So Emacs quitting also works, but you can also quit it like Vim. with colon Q. That one's entirely for the memes. Yeah, don't worry about pestering. I'm happy to go on like crazy tangents. Yes, Babby is Nano, but with one hand scooted over. I actually talk about this a little bit in the README. That's how I named it. Because I used to typo this all the time, and so I had this alias for a while that Babby was just alias to Nano. Now it's alias to which Babby or Nano, so that if I'm working on Babby, it will actually run Babby instead of running Nano. Does shutdown to exit Vim work too? I don't think so. I haven't implemented much of it. Like right now, you can't even do like qbang. It doesn't know about all those commands, but eventually it will know about the rest of those commands. But yeah, the name comes from, on a QWERTY keyboard, if you misplace your right hand and then type Nano, you'll get Babby instead of Nano. It's kind of a silly name. But I know someone that used to exit Vim with Control Z and kill %1. Is this a call out? Are you do you know too much? I'm pretty sure the way that I used to exit Vim was just to click this X button. I don't need to commit. We'll just press the X button. It's fine. Everything's okay. But yeah. But yeah, feel free to answer questions in chat, or ask questions, answer questions. Feel free to ask questions in chat. I'm happy to talk about anything. I think you didn't kill the process, at least not using the background job ID. Oh. Pretty sure that works though. Vim and then background and then kill %1. That's weird. It doesn't die until you foreground it again? That's not what I expect. Oh well. Oh, is it actually dead at that point? No, it's still running. It still runs until you foreground it. Weird. I mean, yeah, it's sig term and not sig kill. This is probably like a feature of Vim. The signal handler is still paused. Oh, because it's backgrounded. I see. If I do kill, if I do Vim, and then background, and then I don't know how to do this. Anyway, kill -9 will work. Yeah, of course. Because you can't stop that one. Yeah, there's a cool rap about kill-9 also. I would show you, but I probably can't reload YouTube. This playlist is still working though, so but it's pretty funny. I definitely recommend. Did I do this right? Set up a GitHub workflow. Got rid of this key. That's another motivation for switching to GitHub Actions. Is you can push to GitHub Pages branches without needing to keep a key in there. Change these badges and added Azure pipelines and then rewrote this file. Looks good. Int 80. Is that what it's called? I don't remember the name of the band. Just remember the kill-9. Something like kill-9, kill-9, but I don't remember any of it. Oh, I have a GitHub notification. What is that? Oh, it's work stuff. Work stuff, which the library that Flask is based on, or that Flask uses for its HTTP stuff. Werkzeug stands for work stuff. Work stuff. Werkzeug. Okay, but this seems to be working. Hopefully, we'll see. We'll see what CI says. Oh, can I not load this page? I bet I can't load that page. But yeah, having this number of builders in Travis CI would have blocked because there's 7 here, but Azure Pipelines is running all of these in parallel just fine. 17 Kim V. Hi, what you making? I'm doing a bunch of busy work and answering questions mostly. I have this fancy command in chat that says what I'm working on, but today I'm working on moving some of my CI from one provider to other providers, such that they're faster. Hey, what's up, 17 Kim V? Thank you for the follow. Oh, my stream overlay is working again. My DNS is currently broken, so I'm having struggles connecting to the internet and doing all sorts of other stuff. But Twitch is still working and GitHub is still working, and that's all I really need, right? Hey, what's up? I killed Kenny too. Thank you for the follow as well. You killed Kenny! South Park. What a fun show. But anyway, I'm mostly just moving these over. Hopefully this will work. What's the purpose of the test? Is it just to deploy GitHub projects on multiple softwares? So the tests are mostly to make sure that the code continues to work. But then I test them on a bunch of different Python versions. So PyPy is a different implementation of Python, and then these are different versions of Python. So Python 2.7, 3.6, 3.7, 3.8, etc., etc., etc. I mostly just want to make sure that the software works on a wide range of things. I'm also not testing Windows here. I could test it, but like until I find a bug in Windows, it's not worth the CI time to do both of them. Now, granted, my like more important projects and like ones which I have a bunch of users, I'll enable Windows testing even if I don't need it. For instance, like I have a import sorter that gets used a lot. Which was before I decided that dashes were better than underscores. So this one is unfortunately named with underscores. But this gets like 5,500 clones over a 2-week period, and so I think I test this one on Windows also. Nope. I'm a liar. Maybe it's this one that I test on Windows? Yeah, this one I test on Windows. Which is easy. I just add this one little flag here, and that causes it to test on Windows. I've mostly just used GitHub to store hackathon projects, so curious to see all the other things it can do. Oh yes, I'm also doing some stuff here with automatic deployments. So, it should be green now. Why are you not green? Oh, because this hasn't finished yet for some reason. So one thing that I'm doing, for instance, this is my personal website, which I haven't updated in forever, so it's super out of date. I plan to get to it eventually. But the way it works is it's actually hosted on GitHub. And I have 2 branches here, so I have real master, which is where the source code is. So you can see like I have like a bunch of templating, and the way these work is like it includes some base stuff and then puts some other stuff below it. But then this gets rendered and generated and put on this other branch. And then this is what ends up being displayed on the website, is this master branch. But the way that the code gets committed is entirely automated. There's this GitHub action, which runs this deploy step. So it first builds the output and then pushes it. So it's all automated. Which is pretty nice. So it means I don't have to like manually deploy my website or like copy code around. BTCN says, are there much differences like line endings or anything else? Line endings is probably the big one, at least for my code linters and code formatters. But Like in particular for pre-commit, which is the like githooks linter formatter framework thing. There's also differences with like what shells are available, what software is installed. Symlinks aren't really a thing. I mean, they are a thing, but you have to enable them, so they're off by default. So you can't really rely on them. There's also like // versus /. Some of the directory names are different. Like virtualenvs have a bin directory on Linux, but a scripts directory on Windows, and there's all sorts of like slight tiny differences that like can make a difference. And like most of the bugs that I've run into are line innings though. Okay, cool. So I can turn this one off. Let's see if Travis will load again. It was kind of loading before, but also kind of not. I think we're on page 3? Yeah, we're on page 3. We skipped this one because it's special. We skipped this one because it uses Docker. I need to figure out how to do that one properly. But this is the one we just did, and then we'll do one that's almost exactly the same. Yeah, Windows supports both / and /, but there are cases where it does not support /. I can show you one in a second. Once we merge this. So there's this thing called UNC paths. Let's see, dir. That works fine. We can look inside my home directory. Oh, that didn't work. Virtual capital V. Yeah, so UNC pass. Oh, why is that not working? Searches. Let's use that directory. So I'm trying to get one that fits on the screen. Yeah, okay, so this one fits on the screen. So this little sigil here triggers universal something, I don't know, some rule, but it lets you bypass a bunch of the checks in NTFS, but it disables path normalization. So this now has to match the file name exactly. In fact, it makes Windows... Oh. I thought it made it case sensitive. Maybe I'm wrong. But anyway, you have to use backslashes here, and you don't have a choice there. Yeah, I'm super sneaky, Bobby. I'm no, it's called UNC. I'm probably not gonna be able to show you. UNC. Universal Naming Convention. Can I load Wikipedia? I can. Long device path. Yeah, anyway, it's Microsoft's thing. No, it's not. Okay. Alright, let's I know I've done this before. We can get the actual source of MSDN saying this. Markdown. Go. Is that the 8.3 or is that the UNC one? You're right. I'm wrong. You got me. Whatever. But yeah, I'm in a virtual machine. What's the difference between running Ubuntu and just running Git Bash on Windows? Git Bash is fine. I use it sometimes. I prefer the developer tools on Linux though, so I tend to use those instead. Let's see. Did this succeed? Oh, I don't want to click on the branch. I want to click on this. Run tox-e push. 4 insertions, 25 deletions. Let's see what it changed on master. This is the automated deploys that I was telling you about. Oh, this is gonna change every single time. So that's fine. Also the path's changed. That's fine. Cool. That works. But yeah, I prefer developer tools on Linux, so that's why I use Linux. Also, like, everything is slightly slower on Windows. Okay, but the next project is going to be super easy, because it's basically a copy-paste of this project. So we had a Pigments highlighter for pre-commit. I also wrote one for PyTest, which is how this is highlighted on the PyTest homepage. Yes, Zoomer, I'm running Ubuntu 18.04. This is Bionic. I prefer LTS, mostly because I like the stability. Oh, somebody asked me earlier why I use Ubuntu. That was a while back. I missed that. Oh, I missed some other stuff too. I'll get to your question about PEP 517 in a second, Kenny. Remind me though. But yeah, I use Ubuntu mostly because it was like the first operating system where I understood how the package manager worked, and then like I've just stuck with it since then. Also, at my second job at Yelp, they used Ubuntu, and so knowing the tool set there was helpful. Also, I maintained some packages for Ubuntu, and so it makes sense for me to stick there. Hey, what's up, OGs? Thank you for the follow. Hope you're doing well. Nice name drop. Yeah, I currently work at Lyft if you want a better name drop than Yelp. I'm much happier there. But yeah. What's up, Zoomer? Thank you for the follow. Hope you're doing well. Someone should write an automated migration from Travis to Azure. It seems quite tedious. I wonder if it's possible. Yeah, someone has written some scripts that do like configuration generation for it. I'm trying to be careful and also changing some stuff as I'm migrating to like optimize some bits, so that's why it's a little bit different. And I have like my templates that I'm using instead. I wonder if I can just do... I wonder if I can just git apply this patch. I can probably do it... Oh, I can't do it for those files. I can't do it for that file. Okay, so it's not that helpful. We can do tox.ini. And we can do Azure pipelines. And this file. Patch does not apply. Okay, well, so much for that. Why doesn't this patch apply? Oh, because we do more things here. Nice. We'll have to worry about that then. WTF is a Travis. Oh, Travis CI is a CI provider that I'm switching away from. Yeah, it's travisci.org is the thing. So just switch this. Probably change this to 8. That's probably going to be failing. I'm probably going to have a sad time with this. I'm going to stop testing Python 3.5. We don't really care about 3.5 anymore. This list is so long. Copy this one in. Oh, this one's gonna be complicated. Oh, I guess it's not so bad. It's just these extra environments. Why don't I test PyPy? Who knows? But we want to do Py3.8. Just gonna make these slightly shorter. Py3.8 master and Py3.8 features. Quite the long list there. I think that's right. Copy these into the README. Oh, I didn't set it up yet though. We gotta set that up still. I wonder if I can copy this job. That would be great. More folders. What does this button do? Whatever, we'll just do this. Classic GitHub. Continue. Continue. YAML apply. This part's tedious. I have to do this every single time. Okay. And then we'll get the build ID 47. 46 with 47. And it's getting pretty late, so this is probably going to be the last one that I'm going to do. But I'm also concerned because I'm pretty sure the tests are going to be failing right now. Because I haven't run them in a while. Pretty sure, oh, we need to do this one. Right, auto update at the same time. What makes Python such a versatile language? I'm juggling Java, C++, Swift, and Python right now. I don't know, it has good library support. It runs on a lot of platforms. I don't know that Python's such a great language, like, it's dynamic typing and kind of a little bit of sadness there, but it gets the job done. I use it because, I don't know, work uses it, and because I've written a bunch of stuff in it, maintained a bunch of stuff in it. Pretty sure this is going to fail. I probably should have done one of the faster ones first. Use what you like / no. Yeah, that's decent advice. When it comes to it, like, a lot of programming tasks can be done in whatever language. Like, the language doesn't really matter so much. And honestly, like, if you know something, if you know how to do something already, you're going to be slightly faster at it. Do you use any language other than Python? Crosbow asks. Let's see if I can do this list again. So I started in Visual Basic 5, then I did Visual Basic 6, then I did PHP, then I did Java, then I did JavaScript, then I did C++, then I did C. Oh wait, no, I did C# before C++. So I did C#, then C++, then C, then Python. I did a little bit of Ruby in between there. I've done some Go. I've done Hello World and probably like 20 other languages, but I wouldn't really count those. That's about it, I think. I'm probably forgetting something, but yeah, I've done a lot of different languages. This is taking forever. Let's because it's cloning from Git, and that's taking forever. Presumably. Or my DNS is broken on this now. Oh, I bet I can't reach PyPI. Oh. I can't actually test locally because I can't reach PyPI. Yeah, that's what's busted. Damn, that's so annoying. That's such a bummer. Well, we'll see it fail in CI, I guess. Which languages do I still use? Oh, I guess I've written some Kotlin too. Now that I think about it, I guess we'll say like the last year what I've worked on. In the last year, I've written Python, I've written C, I've written C++, I've written Go, I've written some Kotlin, I've written a little bit of Java. I've written some JavaScript and Python. So that's what I've been. That's my recent ones. I've not tried Haskell. Oh geez, I've heard good things other than the compile speeds. But I've not tried Haskell. Starting a new Android project. Not sure if I should use Kotlin or Java. I want to build fast, and I'm much more familiar with Java, but I'm afraid of not knowing Kotlin. Kotlin's so easy. Just use Kotlin. You can also write Java using Kotlin, basically. It's just like syntax sugar over Java. Yeah, my DNS is still broken. But I have more GitHub notifications. That's more work stuff. Somebody banging against CI. This is what a slightly broken internet looks like. GG me, I guess. Close some of these tabs. This is the tool that I'm working on right now, or that I'm moving CI for. It does this highlighting here. Although I happen to know PyTest is changing how their syntax highlighting works, so these tests are probably going to fail, and that's probably where I'm going to end the stream. Because if I can't work on it locally, what the fuck's the point? Oh, PEP 517. So I'm not using PEP 517 yet, mostly because of the editable install problems, but also because I don't know. I'm gonna hold out on using Toml as long as I can until I don't have to. Retro Mankind asks, "Hi, what operating system are you running?" So the answer is kind of yes. This is Ubuntu, and I'm also running Windows 10 at the same time. So it's a little sneaky, but I'm running both right now. And I also have a Mac build machine. Is it 1.2? What IP address did you get? Oh, it is 1.2. Okay. So I also have a Mac build machine, which I use to do some development on. That sits in my living room. That's why it lags. So yeah, there's like slight input lag. It's my Wi-Fi. But yeah, this is running in VirtualBox. Usually someone's like, what are your VirtualBox settings? Here's my VirtualBox settings. I give it 8 gigs of RAM and 5 CPUs. I have 12 virtual CPUs, 5 or 6 physical cores, so I at least reserve 1 for other stuff. And I enable these accelerations, but not this one. I don't remember. Oh, I think my BIOS doesn't support this one or something like that. I don't know. And then 3D acceleration is somewhere. Oh, maybe it's gone now. I don't know. But that's my settings. My host machine has 64 gigs of RAM, so that's why I can afford to give 8 to my virtual machine. On my laptop where I only have 16, I think I configure the same virtual machine with 6 gigs of RAM or 5 gigs of RAM, and it works pretty well. Jesus, 64 gigs of RAM. Yeah, so here's the thing. When I was building my machine, I was pricing it out, and I had originally priced it at 32 gigs of RAM, and it was like, I don't know, like $40 more to double it, and so I was like, what the hell? So that's why I have 64. Yeah, I actually have photos of my build process, so I can do that while CI is running. This is my old computer, which died while I was streaming. Although it had problems ever since I moved from Michigan. Man, if I ever move across country again, I'm gonna rent a car and drive across country instead of shipping all my stuff, because both of my desktop machines were broken in transit. This one, like, I lost the CPU, I lost the motherboard, and I lost the graphics card, which are the most expensive and useful parts. But anyway, it still like kind of worked after I reparted the things, but it was kind of like never quite the same. So took it apart. These were the things that I was willing to save from it. I didn't end up using this disk drive, so my current machine has no disk drive, which is kind of wild. This was an SSD I saved and some cables that I ended up not using, and a spinning drive, which I still have the spinning drive, but I try and avoid using it because it's loud. These are let's see, let me make this bigger so that it can fit right there, and that fits on stream. These are the ubiquitous part photo, although I ended up buying some more parts afterwards, so I got 2 NVMe drives after this, in addition to these solid state drives. NVMe is a solid state that's stuck right into the board. Here's the RAM, this is the motherboard. 1080 Ti, I play some games, and this is a liquid cooling kit for the CPU, which I had never tried liquid cooling, and it was pretty easy to set up, except I put it in backwards at first. And so I had to set it up twice. So that was kind of annoying. But yeah, this is me starting to put it together. This is my case. This is my living room. This is one of my monitors. I started putting parts in. This is the motherboards in. There's the CPU. I have the RAM in this one. Power supply. This is me talking to my friend on my laptop. There's more parts as I slowly destroyed my living room. Here's the liquid cooler in. I think this is when it's in backwards, so I had to switch it around. GPU is in. This is more of the disaster in my living room. This is my cable disaster. I ended up cleaning up the cables later. Don't freak out. These cables look really bad. Don't worry, I cleaned it up. Slightly improved cable management, still not the best. Also slightly improved, but still not the best. And this is what my setup looks like right now, although my microphone is no longer on the stand. This is actually new. I got this microphone stand last Friday, and this is my second stream using it, so I'm kind of happy with that. But it's actually hanging from the shelf up here, so there's an attachment up there. And I don't know why, but my checkbook is out in this photo. Also, this is my old keyboard before I switched to my new keyboard. And that's it in the off position, and this is it on. So there's some lights inside. And this is my desktop background. I'm still using that desktop background. But I put like Streamlabs and Twitch over on this screen, and I have my VM here, and I have Twitch chat over here. Only 2 monitors. Yeah. This is a 4K screen, and this is 30 inches, so I have plenty of screen real estate. Now I'm super behind on chat. Yes, I built my own machine. That's what this is about. You give 8 gigs on your 16 gig laptop. That's cool. Probably works. I might give 8 gigs too. I don't know. 8 gigs is plenty though. I plan to install Pop! OS with Windows Dual Boot on my laptop. Interesting. Yeah, my problem with Dual Boot is I often like brick Linux machines, so it's much easier for me to brick a VM and just start over. But yeah, that's a me problem. I have 64 gigs RAM across 6 devices. Oof. Let's see. I have 32 plus 64 plus whatever I have in my phone. Oh, I have 8 gigs in the living room computer. Yeah, I probably have at least 100 gigs of RAM. Hey, what's up, Epigenetics? Thank you for the follow. Epigenetics, nice. Yeah, no love for AMD. I've never wanted to build an AMD build before. How much was this PC? So this one, I didn't include the monitors in the pricing. I think it was like 1,600, somewhere around there. I also like got really lucky with when I bought the parts. Like I happened to purchase them at just like the perfect time when everything was super cheap. It was right before SSDs got super expensive. Also, I bought some of the parts on Black Friday or Cyber Monday or whatever. So they were discounted. People care way too much about cable management. Yeah, true. Checkbook. Yes, I do write checks. Unfortunately, my landlord is still stuck in the last century, so I write checks for that. Unfortunately. How do you like or dislike Snapshot management in VirtualBox? I don't really use it that much. I used to use it when I worked at Yelp, at Yelp. Man, I confuse Yelp and Lyft all the time because they share 2 letters. They're both 4 letters long, and so my brain's just like, they're definitely the same, but they're very much not. I've never seen people use vertical monitors before. I don't like vertical monitors. The only reason this one's vertical is because that's what fit. It literally doesn't fit on my giant desk unless it's vertical. So that's why that is that way. I do most of my development on this screen. So like VirtualBox is always here. Usually I have Firefox up over here. And usually this screen is iTunes, Pigeon, and then blank space. Sometimes I'll put up a YouTube video over here. And these icons are no longer on the screen. They're over on the screen where they belong. But yeah, I used to use snapshots at Yelp, mostly because it was much more costly, because I didn't quite have my setup automated, so it was more costly for me to brick my machine there. So I would revert pretty often. Also, for whatever reason, I got on like the unstable kernel track and like was too dumb to figure out how to turn it off, and so I would install unstable kernels all the time and completely brick my VM, which was annoying. How many monitors does a streamer need? N+1, where N is the current number of monitors. Yeah, ain't that the truth. But yeah, I also got the second monitor to make streaming easier, so I put all my stream stuff on the other screen too, except for chat. I put chat over here, so it's like kind of close to me looking at the camera. Surprised you don't use Vagrant if you're bricking stuff that often. Yeah. The thing is, like, most of my setup right now is mostly I create the virtual machine, I drop an SSH key on, I clone this repository, I install Ruby, and then I run this Puppet script, which bootstraps installing Puppet. And then Puppet installs all of my software. So this is enough for me to get started from nothing. And so like it'll install like Python and Go and PyPy and Ruby and all of the other tools that I use and get them up and going. It also installs my dot files and links them into the right directories and basically sets up everything. So like it's pretty close to just using Vagrant for everything. But I don't know, dealing with Vagrant on Windows is kind of annoying from what I've used before. What's the benefit of a vertical monitor? In my case, it's just desk space. That's it. But some people use it for coding because it gives you more terminal viewing, or you can view more of your terminal. Is this the last photo? Oh, this is the aftermath, the day after disaster of my living room. But this is my living room. This is my bike. This is my exercise bike. Got a couch. There's a TV over here that you can't see. It's my bookshelf that used to have books on it, but then my girlfriend moved out. My ex-girlfriend moved out. RIP. Yeah. That's my living room. Anyway. Looking through your FAQ, what's wrong with Nano? I like Nano. I also like Nano, but people give me shit. They're like, why aren't you using Vim? And they're right. They're absolutely right. And the bot's just trolling. Don't worry about the bot. Nano is nothing compared to Babby. That's true. Babby Master Race. One day Babby will be complete, but until then, it will be Babby. They're not right. Use whatever editor you like. Screw them. Thank you, Grim. Grim knows what's up. Just as long as it's not Ed, right? The true text editor. A Nano user that admits Vim is better. Yeah. I do know how to use Vim. I'm not the noobiest of noobs, but I'll still use the arrow keys. But I know things like oh, that was not what I expected. This is what I expected. You know, like sorting blocks and stuff and undo. I don't remember how to redo in Vim though. And I use cat. Yeah, who's the one in the chat that uses magnetized needle with steady hand? Oh, I use cat when I don't have an editor too. Like sometimes I'm thrown into Docker and it's like, what am I doing? Okay, yeah, as I expected, this is failing because they changed how the syntax highlighting is on the master branch. So I will have to fix this some other day. But not today. Oh, this is all sorts of fucked up. Oh, right, because Azure Pipelines doesn't support terminal escapes. Right. And this output is garbage? Why didn't it show me the diff? Oh, maybe because PyTest is broken on the features branch? That would make sense if that's why this isn't showing a diff. Anyway, I'll fix that some other day. What's Edlin? I don't know what Edlin is. Edlin. Edlin is a line editor. Oh, MS-DOS. Interesting. Never heard of it. My first editor was Notepad. My first programming editor, I guess. In a container with no editor is a bad time. Yeah, it happens a lot. Happens a lot to me. I always leave Vim the second I need to copy and paste. Yeah, ain't that some shit. Babby has rudimentary copy and paste. It uses the same mechanism that Nano does, so you can cut and then paste. And then look, you can undo all that too. Undoes all of the cuts at the same time. Oh, I already undid the other thing. Yeah, it works. Editor wars are stupid. I don't want to participate because Vim is the best. Okay, Crossbow. All right. You had me in the first half. Have you ever tried out Rust? Yeah, I did a little bit of Rust. Not enough to like appreciate it or really understand it. But as part of Advent of Code, I think I implemented the first day in a couple of different languages just to try them out. So I did it in Python initially, then I did it in JavaScript just for the lulz. And then I did it in Rust. Where's the Rust one? Maybe that was day 2? Oh, and it's source bin. Yeah, there we go, Rust. So here was like some of my Rust code, but I got to use something cool in part 2, I think. Yeah, the cycle method of whatever. But I don't know. Rust seems cool. I recently found out. Oh yeah, you asked me this earlier and I just missed it. Sorry. I recently found out about Alacrity and was surprised to see how fast it is. Yeah, Rust is fast. It compiles. It's like compiles down to essentially native code. Viable clan member. What are you asking me? What? An exchange charges a 10% fee. Are you talking about like Bitcoin? Hey, what's up, bad vibes every day? How's it going, friend? GPU accelerated terminal emulator. Yeah, Alacrity. Yeah, it's pretty wild. There's actually quite a few GPU accelerated terminal emulators nowadays. I don't know anything about crypto. You've come to the wrong place. I know nothing. Yeah, I am up late. I'm about to end pretty soon. This is broken and I can't. My internet's broken and I can't load web pages and stuff. I can load GitHub, I can load Azure pipelines, and I can load Twitch, but that's it, basically. And Google, and YouTube. That's all you really need, though, right? YouTube and GitHub, you're done. What are you working on? Well, I was working on moving CI over, but now I'm done because I gotta go to work tomorrow. So I'm gonna wrap up the stream here. Let me do my normal spiel. If you missed any part of the stream and want to catch that, it'll be uploaded later onto YouTube. There's also previous streams here. That's youtube.com/AnthonyWritesCode, which is the same as my Twitch channel. I also usually announce streams on Twitter. I didn't announce the stream because I didn't really expect anyone to show up, but you guys came out in full force on a Sunday. Got 48 viewers on a random Sunday night. But I usually announce on Twitter, and that's twitter.com/codewithanthony. I couldn't have the same branding here because Twitter limits the number of characters, and it would have been Anthony Writes COD. So that didn't quite work out. Hey, what's up? Reno in MO. Thank you for Reno in Missouri. Is that what it is? I don't know. Thank you for the follow. Sorry the overlay is not working. That's my internet being shitty again. I also announce streams on Discord. You can find the Discord in the chat. Oh, was it right the first time? Might be. I also announced streams on Discord. I did announce this one on Discord. But yeah, we talk about programming and stuff. There's memes. It's fun. You can hang out in there. Oh, Reno in Missouri was right. Okay, cool. I got it right eventually then. What else? I usually stream on Saturdays at 11 Pacific time, and then random days throughout the week. So this is one of those random days, random unplanned ones. I guess not random. Nothing. It's not truly random. It's haphazard. But yeah, that's all I got for today. So I'm gonna go find someone to raid. Hopefully someone else is still streaming.